Greetings and welcome to the factory, the home of the Eagles of Eastern Michigan, who face Bowling Green in the regular season MAC finale for both teams. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Barber, this is Marcus Ray. Won a national championship just 20 minutes down the road at the University of Michigan. Well, have you ever seen a season like the one Eastern Michigan is having? 6 losses by combined 19 points in more creative ways you can dig up.
No, I've never seen that, especially you talk about 6 games in a row where they came up on the short end of the stick. I mean, you're talking about some close ones. Their motto is for real. I still think with their record and these losses, they're for real.
Yeah. And in fact, they should make for a very entertaining game tonight against Bowling Green, and they face a Falcon team that, well, in a lot of ways, has a running back that I think a lot of people are going to be talking about for years to come.
Oh, this young man, Andrew Clare, he's from the Show Me State, and tonight I want to see if he can show me everything I've seen all year. He's a young man who can beat you out of the backfield. You see his numbers. He can run the football. Definitely has great hands. I like his skill set. He has a nice jump cut. He can make people miss. He's going to be a good one for a long time.
Had 4 visits to Iowa City, Marcus, but wound up going with Bowling Green instead of the Hawkeyes of Iowa. Now, on the defensive side, you're going to see a guy who plays just a sophomore, Max Crosby, bound for the NFL in a couple of years.
Oh, this sophomore has been playing like Mad Max Crosby. You see 6 sacks in the last 2 games. He's very disruptive. He gets up the field, knows how to use his hands. He plays with low pad leverage. That's what I really like. Let's see if he can get to the quarterback tonight.
For Eastern Michigan, this is senior night tonight, which means that Chris Creighton, the head coach of the Eagles, will say goodbye to 20 players playing in their final game. We'll give you some insight onto Creighton and how he feels about what his last game was like. It might surprise you. That and the open kickoff when we come back. Welcome to Midwestern weather in late November. 39 degrees, southwest winds 15 miles per hour. The rain is expected to conclude about 30 minutes after kickoff. Mike Jinks, year number 2 for the Bowling Green Falcons, will enjoy Thanksgiving with family and friends, and then it's off to recruiting for the next 3 weeks like most head coaches will be going. His 2-year record, 6-17. Chris Creighton, year 4 as head coach of Eastern Michigan. And for Creighton, he told us earlier this week, his final game as a Kenyon, Ohio quarterback, he cried like a baby when it was over. So he knows what senior night is all about tonight, and he will try to make things as comfortable as possible for his players. The A-team officiating crew, as hired by the Mid-American Conference and Commissioner John Steinbrecher, led by referee Ron Hudson, Tim Gover, Vince Winters, Mike Sharp, Pat Dolphin, Rich Ames, Bob Stinson, and Greg Elson. Harold Dinas is the replay official. The communicator is Steve Barnes. Replay technician is Patrick Doherty. Bowling Green won the toss, elected to defer, so Eastern Michigan gets its hands on the football first, and that means number 4, Rogan Roback, playing in his final game as a member of the Eagles, will get the ball first. It is a sparse but hearty crowd tonight in anticipation of the regular season finale for both teams.
Oh, yeah, they started filling in. As soon as the rain died down, you looked up. You got the band playing. You got a lot of parents and loyal senior students and the student body coming out to the factory.
And Nick Fields, 91, will kick off. Win will be a factor before this one ends. Returnable from the 15-yard line. And Bonham on the return gets it about 5 yards or so before the Bowling Green special teams group collides and makes the necessary stops. And Elijah Ballou from his stud linebacker position as special teams, along with Waltz, getting credit for the tackles. And there is a look at quarterback Brogan Roback. And a lot of people feel as he nears 3,000 yards, Marcus, he might be playing on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays next year.
I tell you what, I mean, he's definitely going to get a look. It's hard to say, you know, it depends on how he works out, but he will be in camp. You see the record-breaking numbers. Needs only 185 to become the third quarterback to go over 8,000 yards.
Ian Erickson is his running back, straight ahead into that Bowling Green front 4. The Falcons have had a lot of trouble this year defending the run. As we take a look at impact players, Sergio Bailey on the outside, a very dangerous receiver for Eastern Michigan. And Marcus Milton will probably match up with him from time to time.
Yeah, Marcus Milton is wearing number 24 tonight. Keep an eye on that. We got the word on the jersey change. He's doing that in honor of his teammate, Tavares Wade. But Milton's a guy that played played corner a year ago. Then he moved inside to safety, and he's had a great season so far.
He sure has. After a gain of 4, 2nd and 6, back to the ground again, back to Erickson. Leans forward. He'll be a yard short. It'll be 3rd down and 1. The tackle made by the outside linebacker, Aaron Banks, getting a chance to play for Armani Posey tonight.
Well, you see Eastern Michigan, they're a very physical football team. One of the things that they're going to try to do, Jim, is pound that football, grind the clock out, try to keep that Bowling Green offense off the field, and wear down this Falcon defense. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can stay out of 3rd and short.
And that Falcon defense worn down by Toledo in its most recent game, giving up 7 rushing touchdowns. 3rd and 1, Erickson again into the second line of defense. Carries the football to the 37, gets a pickup of 7, and that's a first down for Eastern Michigan.
Let's take a look at this. It's just simple inside zone. You see the great block, and they create space when the tight end kicks out on the outside. And that's something that Eastern Michigan loves to run, is that inside zone downhill with Ian Erickson. But he can also catch the ball out of the backfield. But he's a good short yardage runner. He can go inside and outside. It
was the left tackle, Marcus, Chris Bukowski, that laid out the block for Erickson. As you take a look at his impressive regular season numbers. First pass of the game for Brogan Roback, and the ball is dropped near midfield. Marcus Milton, 24. Actually, Wade in this case back defending number 24.
Oh, that's Wade, huh?
Yeah.
He's actually playing. He's wearing his jersey. Let's take a look and to see this coverage here by Wade. You get the simple sprint out pass, but the thing I like is how he got his hand right in the bread basket without making contact with the receiver.
Ball intended for 21, Antoine Porter. We were told prior to the start that Marcus Milton would switch numbers, but Wade is available, and he's in 24 tonight. 2nd and 10. Just a couple minutes into this football game. Neither team headed to a bowl game, trying to conclude the regular season on the right foot. And into the pile, the rush goes again. Erickson has been the ball carrier every time out. And on that play, carries for 3. It is 3rd and 7. We're on 3rd down this year. Eastern Michigan toward the bottom of the country at just 32.5% conversion.
You know, both teams aren't going to a bowl game, as you stated, partner, but it's still good to see them come out to play hard, because these type games, you know, give you momentum going into recruiting and going into the next season.
Yeah, and it's kind of an audition, too, I would think, for guys who are coming back next year, play for their respective head coaches. Movement on the right side of the Bowling Green line. Roback throwing with man coverage for Bailey, and it's tapped and deflected at the last moment. And away. There's a penalty flag on the play. Now, it looks like it might have been a free play for Eastern Michigan. It is likely be offsides against the Falcons.
Number 58, defense. 5-yard penalty.
It's on the defensive end, Bryant Sanders. Got his first sack of the season against Kent State recently.
Well, you'll see here with this cadence that Roback used. Watch the clap. Well, the clap was right before that, and it's really designed to draw you off sides. I mean, that's something that, you know, a lot of offenses use. You know, Coach Jinks doesn't like that because they do the same thing themselves in the city in practice every day.
Yeah, they say turnabout fair play. 3rd and 7, now 3rd and 2. Roback throwing for the first down. He's got Antoine Porter, who's got the first down. They'll spot him out of bounds inside the 45. And it's a 1st and 10 at the pickup of 9 yards.
You know, Porter's a guy that's had a very interesting season. I mean, he's, you know, 43 catches on the year, more than 500-something yards, 4 touchdowns. He's a very versatile guy out of that slot.
Time being called after Eastern Michigan picks up the first down. The weather was pretty ugly prior to kickoff, a couple hours prior to kickoff, actually. But has gotten better.
Definitely got better. And, you know, it's late November, mid to late November, and it's unpredictable here in Southeast Michigan for sure.
penalty is against Bowling Green. It'll be a walk-off of 5 yards, so now it's a 1st and 5. So consider them in back-to-back penalties on the Falcons. One that prolonged the last part of this drive, and now it has given Eastern Michigan a shorter distance on the 1st and 5 from the Bowling Green 39 rather. Erickson straight ahead, picks up 3 for 2nd and 2. Falcons really got gutted by Toledo in the most recent game, but in fairness, the Rockets have gutted a lot of teams this year.
Yeah. And Toledo definitely got a high-powered offense, and they wear you down, got a great quarterback. That's a good stop by Kyle Jr. right there is, number 95, a defensive tackle, playing with some leverage, low pad level, getting some penetration, especially on the 1st and 5.
Erickson now 5 carries for 22. Porter in motion. They'll use him on a jet sweep. Erickson carries the football straight ahead. 1st down, Eastern Michigan to the Bowling Green 33. Falcons and Eagles met a few years ago here at Bowling Green when it snowed. And there was, Marcus, a possibility of snow tonight, but I think that's gone away. Off the quick snap. Roll back with man coverage. Looking for a flag was Bailey. Not going to get it. And so it'll be just a long, incompleted pass. Sergio Bailey playing in his final game from San Diego, California.
Let's take a look and see what Bailey had. See if there was any contact. No, not that we couldn't see. But he's a guy you're definitely going to have to double cover at times. Not all the time. Clint Stevens back there, the cornerback. Red shirt junior out of Florida.
Eagles coming off their finest performance recently with a win over Miami on that play. It's Blake Banham with his first carry of the game. And Banham gets 10 yards for another Eastern Michigan 1st down.
Yeah, just going off tackle with the outside zone play. See all the offensive linemen, big fellas, look like a big dance crew. Look like the Temptations. They all just like a choreographed offensive lineman, block pattern. And that's what you want to see if you're offensive coordinator Aaron Kings. Those offensive linemen staying in rhythm, getting to that second level.
All right, which one would have been David Ruffin? The high voice singer.
Dakota Tallman.
My favorite. Roback on the move, picked off. And so that takeaway belt will go into motion here on the pickoff by Montre Gregory, number 6.
That was big time, and I think Program Roback would like to have that pass returned, but he'll have to wait till next possession. Let's see how Gregory came up with the play. So you get the play action, roll out. That's just a simple bootleg. Ball was thrown late. And Jeff Stevens was able to stay on that hip, that inside hip break on the football. I thought he was getting ready to go the distance.
Yeah, nice way to get in the passing lane for Gregory. His first pick of the year, Marcus, and the 24th turnover that Bowling Green has created. Now the Falcons on offense. They may take this to the house. That's Josh Cleveland. Touchdown! 72 yards.
We want to talk about a change of momentum, partner.
Oh, man.
I mean, Cleveland just looked like he was headed all the way back to Cleveland. Here's the deal. Inside trap, you have to be able to make plays in space. Look at the speed. Never broke stride. Senior out of Austin, Texas. Josh Cleveland just took it to the house. One play. That's what turnovers do for an offense. That defense really, I think, had a key turnover, which gave this offense a lot of life going out there.
Yeah, credit Gregory with jumping the route there for the pick. And one play later, 72 yards, Cleveland, touchdown. Josh's 4th touchdown of the year. The extra point by a kid that rarely misses. That's Jake Suter, who's now 29 of 30. Well, how about this? Eastern Michigan marching for a scoreboard on senior night. Bowling Green takes away the momentum. And after the pick by Gregory, Cleveland goes the rest of the route for 72 yards. 7-0 Falcons. Easily Josh Cleveland's longest run of the year for touchdown, 72 yards. He had one of 85 yards in his history against Kent State. And Bowling Green has jumped out early. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray, Live tonight from the factory in the campus of Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti, Michigan. So for the second time tonight, a return for the Eagles, this time a little deeper in their own territory at the 5, and a much better return this time around. Blake Banham running down to the sidelines. They will spot him out of bounds at the 40. It's a return of 55 yards, and then a flag goes up at the end of the play. And in the neighborhood of that was Elijah Ballou, so we'll see if that has something to do with him. But what a return by Blake Banham, obviously his best return of the year. And here's Ron Hudson. So unsportsmanlike against Ballou, and another 15 yards to it. And Eastern Michigan is nearly in the scoring territory in the red zone already.
Well, Eastern Michigan responded, Jim. I mean, you see how he starts up the field, sucks all the defenders to the right side, short side of the field, then he breaks it back. Picked up a lot of nice blocks. But here comes the unsportsmanlike at the tail end. Oh, not right there, but it happened just right in that same vicinity, and that's unfortunate for the Falcons.
That's deja vu all over again, Marcus. Football deep in the Bowling Green territory again, and we have just played a little more than 5 minutes. Quarterback is Brogan Roback, who will operate from the gun. This time throwing on first down. Safe route to Bailey, who squeezes the ball and marches out of bounds, and they'll spot him at the 17. That's a pickup of 8.
Yeah, that's a good switch up on first down. Instead of running up the middle, they noticed that Stevens was playing off coverage on first down. When you see a cornerback in off coverage, it's an automatic read for the receiver to sit down at the 5-yard mark, and now it gives you a manageable second down.
Now make the spot actually at the 18 and a pickup of 7. 2nd and 3. Fake to Erickson to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Who else? Sergio Bailey. 9th touchdown reception of the year.
Well, it is senior day at the factory.
Yeah.
Coach Creighton is trying to send his seniors out the right way. You see Bailey going up against Gray. We got the play action. Ball thrown high and outside, only where his receiver, Bailey, could catch it. That time, Gregory didn't get a chance to get his head back. He was out of phase, meaning he was not hip to hip. He was not in the position where he could become the receiver.
The extra point is good. So less than 6 minutes into the first quarter, we're tied at 7. An entertaining start. And another look at Brogan Roback. 19th touchdown throw of the season. Brogan Roback will be playing in the NFLPA game January 20th in the Rose Bowl in Southern California. Just moments ago, teaming up with teammate Sergio Bailey for his 57th career touchdown pass. That's the best at Eastern Michigan. He is 2nd in passing yards and completions tonight. 3 of 6 for 36 and a score. Already, Marcus, a very entertaining start to this game.
Very much so. I mean, he's been a back and forth match so far. Eastern Michigan getting 2 possessions. He turns it over on 1. Bowling Green comes back, turns it onto a touchdown on the first play. Now let's see how the Falcons can respond.
That's in the hands of Matthew Wilcox. Takes a knee, and the Falcons will start from their own 25. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray, who, would you believe, 20 years ago tomorrow was a part of a Michigan team that beat Ohio State. Finished the regular season undefeated in 1997 and then go on to win a national championship.
Great team, great memories. Everything fell into place. We had a little luck. We had great skill. Lloyd Carr and the guys. It was an epic season.
Jared Dagey hopes to have an epic career. Just a freshman. He can spin it, as his head coach Mike Jinks says. And Mike's been, he's had an eye on him since his, 8th grade when he played Texas football 7-on-7. His first pass completion of the game to the 27-yard line. Besides Dagey making an impact tonight, let's talk about the Falcons. Teal Redding is wide receiver, who this year has 7 touchdown receptions. And on the other end, Brady Hoying, the first cousin of Bobby Hoying, who played at Ohio State. We'll keep an eye on him.
Very familiar with that Hoying family.
Oh, you would be, would you not?
Bobby, Tom Hoying down in Ohio.
There are about 30 of them, weren't there? In
Yeah.
Columbus, Ohio lore.
There were a ton of them. But, yeah, I really like Brody Hoying, though, too. I mean, I think he's a special player. Only a sophomore. He's a very versatile guy, and he really stuffs the stat sheet.
After the 5-yard completion, here comes the blitz by Eastern Michigan. And Daggy gets rid of it. One thing about Jarrett that is obvious, he not only can spin the ball, but he gets rid of the ball very fast. And in a lot of ways, people think that down the line, this projects to a future NFL quarterback.
Yeah, and the thing about it is you have to be able to make all the throws. I mean, systems in the NFL are a lot different than they are in college, and you have to make more reads.
Blitz now coming off the edge as they are sending an extra defender. Hoying this time coming off the box or off the edge, and there is no gain on the play. In fact, there is a loss of a yard. That'll bring us to 3rd and 11. Let's take a look at Jarrett a week ago.
Let's take a look at him letting the ball go up in the air. The thing that I like is he knows where to throw the ball. It's not that he can just spin it and flick it. He has accuracy. You just saw the air under the football, and it landed right in the breadbasket. He really knows how to throw an accurate football.
Good point. Here comes Hoying off the edge, and again, this time they pick him up, and Daggy trying to find a receiver cannot in midfield. That was intended for T.O. Reddy, and so Bowling Green must give up the football.
Well, that's the one thing you want to do to Jared Daggy is to get him off his square. Get him out of the pocket, on the move. Even though he can move, he never got a chance to set his feet on that throw. Let's take a look at that defensive pass breakup by Ross Williams. I think that was excellent. That's what you want to see. I saw those guys working on that very drill in pregame.
7th pass breakup of the season for him. Here's Joseph Davidson. Speaking of the NFL, he'll be playing there next year. He's the tallest punter in college football at 6'7", and one of the most accurate at over 44 net yards per punt. That one lands just beyond the 30, and halfway through the first quarter, let's step aside. Bowling Green 7, Eastern Michigan 7. About moments ago, well below Joseph Davidson's average, 33 yards, but this kid is a 2-time academic All-American, a 3.96 GPA in finance and mathematics. And Marcus, he truly is not your average Joe as you take a look at his MAC numbers, which compete and fare very well nationally.
Yeah, you can see tops in the conference, ranked in the top 20, top 10 in the nation. Over half of his punts down inside the 20. I think you'll see him on Sundays.
Rogan Roback back to work and going play action on first down and firing down the field. Got a receiver, ball caught, no, yes, inside the 35-yard line. The official mark will be the 32 on the catch by Matthew Sexton. And he is known for circus catches. He had one earlier this season against Miami.
Yeah, Sexton is sure-handed. I mean, but Roback knew exactly where to place the ball, got it done.
Here comes Eastern Michigan for the 3rd time in this quarter inside the Bowling Green 35-yard line. First time, an interception stalled the drive. 2nd time, it resulted in a touchdown. As Shaq Van carries on first down for a pickup of 6.
Get your tail end of that catch right here by Matthew Sexton. I like how he high-pointed the football, got a little bit of separation at the end of his route from the defensive back and came down with the football.
Yeah, good to see Shaq Van back in the lineup. Number 5, he'll carry with the line running to the right. He's got the first down inside the 20, and Eastern Michigan is in the red zone for the first time.
It is good to see Shaq Van in the lineup. I think he gives them a little bit of lightning to complement the thunder of Ian Erickson. Gives them that downhill run game. Missed a little time this year, but he just gives them another dynamic.
He picks up 9 on the play after the fake to Van, the quick outlet to the near side of the field. Ball caught. Sergio Bailey with the reception. And a solid pickup on first down as this Eastern Michigan offense seems to be living in Bowling Green territory so far in this game.
Yeah, and it seems the play calling has changed just a little bit because when Roback threw that interception, he was rolling to his left. It was tough, hard to get his shoulders around. It looks like the passing game has been to his strong arm to his right.
Pickup of 5, 2nd and 5. Fake to Van, to the end zone we go. Receiver going one way, ball going the other. And it'll be 3rd and 5. The pass intended for Jerron Johnson, the former walk-on.
You know, one of the things about running an up-tempo or a no-huddle offense, sometimes you don't get a chance to ball control. And so we said it's the third possession for Eastern. When Bowling Green had the ball, he scored quickly. Then they came back and didn't run much time off the clock. And that'll kind of hurt your defense later on.
Eastern Michigan 30 of 36 in the red zone with 20 touchdowns this year. Need to pick up 5 on third down. They're shooting for all of it, and that's incomplete. In fact, the defender on the play, 22, Robert Jackson, actually had his hands on the ball as it hit him in the back.
That was actually a dangerous throw. I mean, Roback didn't get much on it, and Jackson, if he was got his head around a little sooner and just read the receiver Doherty and got that body position turned around, that would have been another interception.
Special teams have been a problem this year for Eastern Michigan. They lost a number of games on field goal opportunities. This is Paulie Fricano trying to drill one from 30. 13 of 19 on the season. And Eastern Michigan goes ahead for the first time, 10-7 on a 30-yard field goal by Fricano.
It's a good-looking kick from Fricano. It was 2 for 2 last week, between 30 and 40 yards. So looks like he got a rhythm going on, and he's had his struggles.
Chris Creighton was addressing that earlier this week, along with the rest of the ways Eastern Michigan has found to lose games. And he said, you know, I'll probably be driving around during the summer somewhere still trying to figure out what could have been done differently, which typically is what head coaches are all about. Let's take a look at what's happening in the conference tonight. Some very important games. One in particular in Akron, all over Kent State, 10-0. First quarter, if Akron wins the game, Akron wins its division in the East. Miami leads Ball State in the game in Muncie tonight. 4 and change remaining in the first quarter, 7-0. And what a rough year Ball State has had without its quarterback, without its star running back, and without a receiver in Corey Lacanaria.
It's really tough to win this conference or win your division when you have that many injuries. And then I think both divisions are very competitive and they cannibalize one another, and that's why you see the division coming down to the very last game.
Matthew Wilcox on the return, 40-yard line, foot race right now to the 40. 30, down the sidelines he goes. It's likely coming back, but he takes it to the house anyway.
Penalty marker on the play.
Matthew Wilcox, his best return against Kent State earlier this year of 61 yards, but he knows what's going to happen now. It's coming all the way back.
During the return, legal block in the back, number 38 of the receiving team. Half the distance
So
to
the
the goal,
illegal
first
block
down,
in the
Bowling
back
Green.
prevents Bowling Green from regaining the lead, and what would have been a sensational return by Wilcox.
You see it right across, it flashed right to the left of the screen, but that was a great individual effort by Wilcox. Not sure if that block sprung him free. Young freshman out of Huber Heights, Wayne.
What a nice move on the kicker, too. Jesse Kelly, number 39.
And a lot of talent down in that area. Braxton Miller, you know, most notable, but that was an excellent return. And you know what, special teams, I think, really going to play a difference in this game if Bowling Green's really going to be able to flip the field, get a little bit more momentum, because it's going to be tough to drive the length of the field on this Eagles defense unless you can do it in one play like Cleveland did.
Well, and this penalty is like a turnover because it prevents you from scoring 7. And now you must operate deep in your own territory with a little more than 5 minutes to go. Now the Falcons have fumbled the ball. The question is who's got it. Eastern Michigan says it belongs to them. We'll wait for an official ruling, and it does. So first, a touchdown kickoff return is negated because of penalty, and now you turn the ball over in the red zone.
You know what? And that's what penalties do to an offense. It just demoralizes. But you see Cleveland running up the middle, and he's in traffic right here. Every team that's played against Eastern Michigan this year said they tackle the football. It shows up on film. When there's one guy making the tackle, the second and third man come in and try to strip the football. Let's see who gets this strip. Let's see number, let's see, we got Rockwall. Looks like he's the one, Kyle Rockwall, 51, may have been the one to strip it out. The recovery looks like it's Hoying.
Looks like this play will be under review. Now, by NCAA rule, all turns of possession or changes of possessions are under review, but this one's going to go under the microscope even more. Harold Dinas, again, is our replay official. Steve Barnes is our communicator.
Well, here's what I'll say. Looks like, I don't know if the forward progress was stopped right here, but the knee isn't down. The ball clearly is out. Good job of Brody Hoying actually ripping that football out. He was one of our impact players at UCY. You know, mentioned he was a disruptive stat stuffer. You know, 2 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, and that'll be 4 and 4 if this counts. Pass breakup kind of guy, so he's very active. I thought the forward progress could have been blown dead there, but it's tough to get down when you get a bunch of Eagles swarming to the football like that.
Well, if there was a whistle that actually stopped play, that would benefit Bowling Green, but I don't know if that's the factor here. And once again, our official, Ron Hudson.
Review. The ruling on the field of a recovered by the defense is confirmed. First down. Again.
And for the Bowling Green Falcons, that is the 24th time they have turned the ball over this year. And in fact, that is 119th out of 130 teams. So for the 4th time tonight, Eastern Michigan with a scoring threat. And for the 3rd time tonight in the red zone.
Wouldn't be surprised if Eastern took a shot here with a little play action or something working to the left side of the field.
Don't have far to go, even though they have 2 receivers now to the near side. On 1st and 10 from the BG 13. Erickson. Ian Erickson with back-to-back 100-yard games. He's got 5 100-yard career games. And against Army this year, 20 carries for 107.
112 last week. You know, penalties can demoralize an offense and their drive killers, but I really think it took a little bit of the momentum away from Bowling Green when that kickoff return was called back.
No, I would agree. 2nd and 8 for Roback. Stepping up, little shovel pass, and he nearly got that picked. So Brogan Roback is fortunate there as we now are back to a short, incompleted pass. I'm not sure he was certain about what he wanted to do here.
Yeah, we're getting a great view right here. Right here, I think Roback could have ran the football and possibly slid, but he wasn't on the same page with Ian Erickson, and that's a dangerous pass. And you really don't want to turn the ball over in this area because these are points. This is either a touchdown or a field goal. But he just gave it the old Brett Favre flick. It almost bounced off his back.
Roback on 3rd and 8 in trouble and sacked. Back in the 26-yard line on a loss of 15. Nico Lautinen, his first start. He's quick, he's got good hands, and he knocked Roback back for a loss.
So you see him coming from the right side of your screen. I mean, he really got some great penetration. Young man, sophomore out of Mentor, Ohio. Great program up there, by the way. See Roback, he's limping.
This is a 39-yard field goal attempt. And the kick is good. Pretty good night for Paulie Furcano. He's knocked down 2 in a row. Eastern Michigan gets points in the red zone again. Not as many as they had hoped for. But with 3:49 to go in the first quarter, now the lead extends to 6 at 13-7.
Well, I'm sure Chris Creighton, head coach of the Eagles, are trying to talk to this kickoff team and make sure everyone stays in their lane. Let's see if we can identify where Roback may have got nicked up a little bit. Oh, right there, you see his right knee and foot kind of rolled his ankle on that sack by Loudon. You see right here, watch his right knee and ankle. Yeah, his foot, ankle twisted.
Well, it's been all Roback this season as quarterback. His backup, Isaac Stiebling, has seen very limited activity. He's a redshirt freshman. But right now, he's warming up. By the way, Roback was not sacked for 15 yards, but a loss of 10. Still, he managed a field goal, but failed to get the touchdown. Jesse Kelly kicking, and this one goes in the end zone with the wind at his back. So let's see if Bowling Green can stay penalty and turnover free, as this drive for the Falcons will start from their own 25.
I know that defense is saying, hey, way to put it in the end zone, brother, because when you start to kick it to a dynamic return guy like Wilcox, once he takes one back, it changes your entire thought process when you're running down the field to cover, and then once you take the field on defense.
Yes, your first thought ought to be, let's kick it away from him.
Yeah, and then when you get a touchback, it gives you the length of the field to have to defend versus a return to the 50.
Well, in a lot of ways, the Falcons are fortunate to be down just 13-7. Eastern Michigan has had 4 scoring threats, and imagine if they've been able to punch all 4 ahead for touchdowns, they'd have this game in command already.
Yeah, and they gave up the one long run for their only score, and they've made Bowling Green earn every yard since then. So it's been an interesting back and forth first quarter.
After the pickup of 5, 2nd and 5, this is Clare running to the outside. Now steps back and gets the first down and still manages to get the football up near the 40. Andrew Clare, the freshman out of St. Louis, Missouri. He said there were no hard feelings, Marcus, as to him choosing Bowling Green over Iowa, but the Hawkeyes were looking at him more as a defensive back. He wanted to play running back.
Yeah, he wanted to tote the nail. You see, that's that jump cut I told you about earlier. It's really good footwork, especially in traffic.
Picks up 9 after the high snap. Deggy to kick it out on a short pass to the 46-yard line to Dayton Guyton. Dayton Guyton is more their deep ball threat. But if they can get him out in the open area, he can make things happen in a hurry. That's a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Now Deggy keeps the football and gets the first down into Eastern Michigan territory. It's not typically a position you'll see Jared Deggy run much, and I'm not sure that wasn't a broken play.
Yeah, it looked like a busted play, and Deggy made the most of it and picked up the first down. Heads-up play. He was trying to make the exchange with the handoff. I know Coach Jinks likes the fact that he has a heads-up freshman that can improvise whenever things get a little rocky back there.
Well, the record, Bowling Green has 2 offensive coordinators, Kevin Kilmer, Andy Padron, and Kilmer is actually the one that handles the official play calling, but both weigh in, and Andy handles Kevin handles the passing part of it, Andy the running plays.
And for the most part, I mean, the run game and the pass game complements one another, and I really think from game planning they figure out when they want to throw it and when they want to run it based on the matchup they see.
Seems to work pretty well as Deggy throwing. He's got a receiver. Ball caught. First down. No spot at the 32-yard line and a catch by Scott Miller, his 56th reception of the year. And there's a flag that may add some yardage onto that play. Back defending Justin Moody. Ron Hudson will come in to clarify and then allow us to listen in as to what the call was. It was a pickup of 15. Now the question is, if it's on the defense, are we going to add another 15? I think Justin Moody would like to know.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 13 of the defense. Penalties enforced, 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
So now from the 32-yard line, we go to the 17, which will put Bowling Green into the red zone. Now, what do you think? Was it harsh enough to merit 15?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was that violent. But you know, right here, you're already out of bounds. It doesn't help you any.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's a judgment call there. But that little extra when you're 3-4 yards out of bounds, just go ahead and let the young man go, line up, and play the next play.
Of course, the question is, why am I asking you? You play great defense. What kind of impartial response am I going to get after you had 5 picks your senior year? Charles Woodson had 7. You were 1-2 in the Big Ten. I'm not going to get any objectivity here.
Hey, I really wanted to say I thought it was a clean play. But that's different when you're an analyst. You know, you got to go with the impartial.
Under a minute to go, first quarter. Bowling Green threatening to tie the game, despite the fact its defense has been on its heels. Deggy to the end zone and a little bit further than he'd like to, intended for Guyton, or rather intended for Redding. It'll bring us to a 3rd and 7.
It's good coverage by Kevin McKeel, the cornerback. staying on that upfield shoulder, understanding that on second down in this area, Bowling Green likes to take a shot, try to get it all in one whop. See right there, that's what you want. Upfield shoulder means further up the field. The shoulder that's further north, that's where you want to be as a defensive back in this position.
Daggy with time to the up receiver at the 2-yard line, and that one pops up in the air and nearly picked up by Brody Hoying. So Hoying had a chance on the pass intended for Guyton, and that'll bring on their superb field goal kicker, Jake Suter.
I think Daggy threw this one a little too high, and it was just zone coverage. He may have got hit. You see the ball wobbling, but that's a dangerous throw. Tips and overthrows is where you see the majority of interceptions. I really think he could have checked the ball down to his tailback, Terrence Stevens, out in the flats, see if he can make something happen.
Suter is 17 of 19 on the season. This kick is from 30, where he has been automatic, and nothing changes. Jake Suter now kicking at 90% efficiency, and Bowling Green has 3 points on the board to cut the lead to 13-10. Let's go back to August. Suter was without a scholarship, so his head coach, spur of the moment, said, if you kick this one from 53 yards out, I'll give you a scholarship. Talk about pressure, Marcus.
Oh, this is more pressure than trying to win a ball game.
Dead center.
Scholarship. Look at that.
Looks like they just won a championship.
Hey, dreams do come true, man. Hey,
yeah.
You know, however you got to get it, you got to get it, bro. If you got to kick a 53-yarder in practice and then knock a few down in the game, then that's what it takes, man. Getting that education paid for if you can. But he's been pretty good, though. That's the thing. He can knock him through.
Well, the commissioner of the MAC has certainly taken opportunities to honor academics and athletes together.
That's right.
And when you see kid kick a 53-yarder to earn a scholarship, and he's a pretty good student at that, that's special.
Oh, yeah.
Low kick up, man, 25-yard line for Eastern Michigan. Well, this one is turning into a shootout early in the first quarter, and now toward the end of it, we already have 23 points combined.
I will say this. I think Mike Jinks was going to give him a scholarship anyway.
That's, it's legend versus truth, and you're right. He was right there for a scholarship.
He wanted to test the young man to see if he could handle that kind of pressure.
But the question is, what happens if he had missed it?
That's what
Football at the Eastern Michigan 31. Time perhaps for a play or two. And the new quarterback is Stiebling, who gets a chance to be a star tonight. And that was totally unexpected because of the injury to Roback. They will run the ball, and this likely will end the first quarter. So now Eastern Michigan must deal with the loss of its star quarterback, at least for the time being. And with that, we will end the first quarter. Entertaining first quarter. That's what we thought it would be. Eastern Michigan 13, Bowling Green 10. It's the MAC regular season conclusion for both teams. Josh Cleveland's had the big play in the game, 72-yard run from scrimmage for a touchdown. Tough spot for the backup quarterback Isaac Stiebling, who is in replace of the injured Brogan Roback. May have turned an ankle back in the first quarter. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray had his senior day some 20 years ago or so at Michigan, so I imagine you remember this. That's Brogan Roback there, number 4.
20 seniors on this roster being honored pregame today in the rain.
And son number 2, Sergio Bailey.
See Jason Beck. All these guys.
Derek Williams, 42 right there. What it must feel like to come through that end zone for the last time. Did you cry, by the way, when you went through?
No.
You're a pretty tough guy, so it
was a little different, man. They actually announced this during the game on the Jumbotron. It was
really?
Very special, definitely.
So far, a couple of safe plays for quarterback Stiebling. This time Erickson carrying the football. First quarter numbers. Rushing yards favoring Bowling Green. Passing for Eastern Michigan. There have been 13 first downs already in the game and 23 points.
Well,
2 touchdowns and 3 field goals.
Yeah, Jim, you see that third down, I think it's going to be critical for both teams. 2 of 4 for Eastern and Bowling Green 0 of 2. You know, it's a close ball game right now, but I think as it moves forward, third down is going to be crucial.
Got to pick up 9, does the redshirt freshman. Time to throw the ball, shoots it downfield, and nearly picked off at the 40-yard line. Throwing into double coverage, that's Fred Garth, who's the tackles leader on that secondary for Bowling Green.
That was a dangerous pass, though, and take a look. You see Fred Garth playing that safety, that half field, tries to go up at his highest point, runs into his own teammate. Ball comes out. It's a dangerous pass. You know, Clint Stevens in the area, too. But, you know, if you're a backup quarterback, the one thing that you want to do is at least move the chains, take care of the football, but you don't want to beat yourself.
Marcus Milton back to catch inside the 30. Makes a man miss, trying to get to the outside. And they'll spot the football at the 34-yard line. Actually, that's Wade back there. You know what may have happened tonight is Milton may have not only gathered the number for Wade, but maybe the jersey. Official explanation was that Milton was going to take the place, at least in terms of number, of Tavares Wade, who's not available tonight. So I'm going to assume that is Milton at number 24 in Wade's jersey.
Yeah, we got a little switcheroo action.
Yeah, so it's a dedication to him tonight because he's not available. In the meantime, Bowling Green football from its own 34. This is Andrew Clare. This time he's going to get smothered up. Might have got back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's about one of the few times you'll see Clare in a position for no gain or a tackle for loss.
Yeah, that time Eastern got a lot of penetration up the field. I saw Max Crosby on the left side just getting up the field, playing violently. Big guy using his hands and had a little bit to say after he made the play. You know, it's just that kind of day. There's no love lost with these teams. It's only an hour drive.
Fake by Daggy and throws one out to the flat. And not much momentum off the catch by Clare, who couldn't get much further because he didn't have much balance to begin with. Solid gain, though, on second down. Brings up a third for Bowling Green and 6, just seconds in to the second quarter.
Yeah, if you're Eastern, you really want to get more pressure on Daggy because you got those guys covering in the back end for a long time. Then once your linebacker gets matched up on Andrew Clare, you know, something bad might happen, brother.
Here comes the blitz on Daggy, gets rid of the football and completes a bullet pass to Scott Miller, his second reception of the game. And Jared Daggy had heat coming on him, was able to pick it up and fire it. There is a penalty flag back at the 30-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer into the defense, slap to the head, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
We have had some significant penalties, Marcus, in this first half on both sides.
Yeah, we really have. Let's see how this. Oh, that little. You know what? I just don't know if that's roughing the passer. But what I will say is, you know, Spearman could have ran past the quarterback Daggy on that play. I mean, if you're not going to hit him, you know, why even risk it? You know, either go ahead and do it or just run past him. Make the officials make the call. Don't just give it to him.
Because of the penalty, it's now 1st and 10 for Bowling Green at the Eastern Michigan 27. Fake declared. Daggy shooting one out of the backfield. Caught by Matthew Wilcox. And a tackle made by Williams.
Yeah, Jim. I really think that's a good open field tackle by Williams because, you know, a guy like Wilcox can make you miss, Clare can make you miss, and college football now is a space game. You have to have space players.
Yes.
Meaning guys who can make plays and tackles and make people miss in the open field.
And we saw the ability to get in space by Miami the other night against Notre Dame and how effective it was. Now a chance to go all the way is Guyton. And down inside the 5-yard line. They'll spot him at the 3. It's a catch and run of 22, first and goal for the Bowling Green Falcons.
Well, that time the Falcons got caught, sending some pressure and playing this man defense. And look at the pass. Under duress, after getting a roughing the passer penalty. You see Guyton catching the ball in stride.
Jason,
now, Bowling Green, I think, has found their rhythm, and they're getting rid of the ball quick. And everything's going their way.
Claire trying to get to the end zone. Is knocked down before that happens. The official spot was at the 2. So now it is second and goal, a loss of 1 on the play. You'll see Jason Beck, who's playing in his 50th game tonight, very active in the middle linebacker spot for Eastern Michigan. He has 350 career tackles. And this is his final game. Hails from Indianapolis, Indiana. Had a little girl on his arms when he came through the senior lineup tonight. Introduced prior to the game. High snap, Claire. No, keeper by quarterback. Touchdown, Daggy.
That was exactly the way you draw it up. If you're talking about a zone read option, I don't know if that was called or designed or he read it, but he really sold that fake to Andrew Clare, and there was no one home.
So the 15-yard roughing the passer penalty put Bowling Green in a scoring position rather quickly, and then Daggy with his first rushing touchdown of the year on a 7-play, 66-yard drive. Now Jake Suter. And back and forth we go today. Just a shade under 11 for the first half, and now the Falcons have regained the lead. Bowling Green 17, Eastern Michigan 13. Jared Daggy tonight as Bowling Green quarterback, 9 of 13 for 87 yards, but more importantly, off the fake that Marcus described moments ago where he has a rushing touchdown. These are their fantastic freshmen of the Falcons, Andrew Clare and Jared Daggy.
That's a dynamic duo, fabulous freshman. Look at the numbers, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Daggy. Saw Clare making some things happen. Both of these young men are playing well tonight.
Another chance for Blake Banham to work his magic on the kickoff. Makes a couple of people miss. And a fine return near the 30-yard line with under 11 minutes to go in the first half.
The Eagles really needed a big return there because their offense hasn't been the same so far. Since Brogan Rollback went out with his injury. It's a different team.
Well, how worse can it be on senior night after you've set records at Eastern Michigan for passing and then you get hurt? And this is your final game. I mean, this is it.
That's something like Coach Creighton was talking about, one you just won't ever forget.
Nope. Isaac Stiebling out of Snyder High School in Fort Wayne is the backup, and now the man at the controls for Eastern Michigan. Got a man at the 50-yard line, but overshoots Sergio Bailey. And it was defended well by Marcus Milton, number 24.
Well, the thing about that, you really didn't get any separation from the other two receivers. And when you run color with color, meaning when you and your own guys are in the same area, then that draws more traffic that way too. That almost was a big play. Bailey could have got his eyes turned around a little faster.
Already had several lead changes in the game as Erickson carries the football to the right side of the line. There's Aaron Banks getting a chance to play in place of Armani Posey, who's expected to play tonight, but has been through injuries.
Aaron Banks, fifth-year man out of Chicago, Simeon High School.
Pretty good public league player.
Simeon's produced a lot of good basketball talent over the years.
Oh, yes.
Got some football players, too, that's come out of there.
Stiebling throwing the home run ball to the 45-yard line. Antoine Porter looking for flags, not going to get it. And so Eastern Michigan must give up the ball, but Isaac's got a pretty good gun in his own hands, and he can certainly loft the ball.
Yeah, he's definitely got a live arm, and I'm just a little surprised that Eastern Michigan isn't trying to run the football the way they did on that first series, and they really took their time and had some patience. But they've been more pass-heavy, it looks like. 2 out of the 3 downs that they're using are for passing. But I really think running the football is something they can use because this game is still relatively close. And there's a lot of ball to be played. I just don't know if going down the field 2 out of 3 times is going to help them right now.
Jake Julian, a line drive kick that is fielded by Marcus Milton at the 32-yard line. So with 9 3/4 of a minute remaining in our first half, the Falcons lead the Eagles 17-13. Back to business at the factory in a moment. Gus Ragland has thrown 2 touchdown passes tonight for Miami over Ball State. Kobe Booker has a 25-yard reception catch for touchdown. Akron leading Kent State. Very competitive game there, and I know folks in Ohio have their eyes on that one. At halftime, Marcus and I will look at the MAC playoff scenarios. And wouldn't that be something if Kent State stunned Akron, which then would put the pressure on Ohio at Buffalo on Friday, giving you 2 scenarios. Ohio trying to win the division, Buffalo trying to get bowl eligible.
Oh, I mean, everybody's playing for something right now, whether it's pride, whether it's ending the season on a high note, division champs, bowl game.
Here's Dagey to the near side of the field to Scott Miller. 3rd catch of the game for Miller. Gets the first down. The spot will be at the 47 and a pickup of 10. Scott Miller is their most sure-handed receiver. He now has 25 consecutive games in which he's made at least 1 reception.
Dagey's in the rhythm.
Yes.
I mean, he's really playing like a guy that's not a freshman.
Josh Cleveland, who has that 72-yard run for touchdown, carrying the football there for a couple. And Dagey, again, has been around Mike Jinks and Texas Tech since he was attending camp as an 8th grader. So wasn't any surprise that they might have a chance to lure him to Bowling Green. And in fact, his brother is the wide receivers coach here, Seth Dagey. On 2nd and 8. Gets rid of the football. May have been tapped at the line of scrimmage. Either way, it's incomplete at the 35. Miami's sending a lot of blitzes in this game so far, as Neil Nethery, who's in the Boyles Award competition for one of the best assistant defensive coaches in the country, is sending some heat tonight, Marcus.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's a semi-finalist, and what he did that time was mix it up. You see big Granger getting in there. You know, he's a big guy. It's tough to block, showing some athleticism, and getting those paws on the football. You know, you had to be careful with that one, Dagey, because that ball was tipped and almost became a turnover.
Yeah, I should say Nethery sending it for Eastern Michigan. And its matchup tonight against Bowling Green. It's a passing situation now, 3rd and 8. Dagey with time over the middle. Ball caught, first down on a bullet to Scott Miller. He needed to get 8, got about 10.
Well, Miller knew exactly where to go. He ran to the sticks. He sits right in between the linebackers. And this offensive line playing well. I mean, they're giving Dagey plenty of time to throw it. You see, when it's zone coverage and you're a receiver, you don't want to keep running. You want to find a window, take a seat down in there, catch the football, and get on the ground. If it's man-to-man, that's when you keep running. Good call by Mike Jinks.
Here's Cleveland. So you're in this Eastern Michigan secondary, and you're facing Dagey, who now is in that rhythm. Mm-hmm. You start for Michigan in the Wolverines secondary. What are you going to do to adjust to his game?
Well, one of the things you do is pre-snap, you disguise your coverage, show a little press, maybe bail, show cover 2, roll to cover 3. But in today's college football, when you get tempo and plays called from the sideline, it's a little tough to disguise because they can catch you with your hand in the cookie jar. So, you know, maybe mix up the coverage and don't play so much zone and go a little more man.
Dagey on 2nd down, picked off.
Maybe they heard what I just said. I don't know.
It's Juan Giraldo, the free safety, the backup, the Justin Moody with the INT.
Well, we'll take a look and see. I mean, Eastern Michigan was in a zone defense. See guys dropping, but right there when you're a freshman, sometimes you lock on, but the receiver, Scott Miller, looked like he got caught in traffic. And then Giraldo just read Daigie's eyes, stayed with him, picked off right there, stayed on his feet. Kind of an ill-advised throw. Daigie wasn't under any kind of duress. I don't think he went through his progressions on that route. He kind of got locked on, and that's what some young quarterbacks do.
Yeah, it's the first interception by Giraldo this year, and I think Scott Miller thought he was held. Either way, it wasn't called, so Eastern Michigan getting the football back. Good field position from the 39. Sometimes you'll see a team take a shot immediately after a play like that, but Eastern Michigan is operating with his backup quarterback tonight, with Brogan Roback hurt in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I really think they want to try to do something with the football here with under 7 minutes to play, at least get a little field position or maybe get out in the field goal range. But, you know, taking a shot has been just kind of dangerous for Stiebling so far. I mean, the secondary, this Falcons guy has been getting their hands on the ball.
Well, moments ago, you saw Juan Giraldo celebrating his first INT of the year. And on the short pass, Eastern Michigan's going to be just a yard short of the first down. Is nice safe pass for Isaac Stiebling to Doherty. So Eddie Doherty, his first catch of the night. Now on 3rd and 1, ball is loose. Eastern Michigan gets it back, but fails to get the first down.
That play just never seemed to be quite set. And I know it's a quarterback sneak, a design call where you try to catch the defense off guard, but in week 12, that play has been scouted, and Bowling Green was ready for it. Looks like Eastern's going to go for it on 4th down, or at least try to draw them off sides.
Eastern Michigan has been good on 4th down this year, 9 of 16. They have 56%, and now the Eagles will take some time to reevaluate that decision with 5:44 to go in the first half. Well, what would you do if you're Eastern Michigan? This is the final game of the season. Doesn't matter whether you win or lose. Matters that you want to win, but it does not matter in terms of bowl consideration.
Well, you know what? If I was Aaron Keene or Coach Creighton right now, I would challenge my seniors. I would challenge my guys up front, all of them. I mean, now there's not a senior up on that offensive line, but I would really challenge everyone to play for these seniors and ask them to a man, can you get this first down? Can you block? I'm Mike Jinks. I'm telling these guys, hey, let's ruin senior day defense. You've been holding up, playing well. You know, if they decide they want to go for it, we're going to make them pay for it. But now you see it looks like Eastern's going to punt that football.
Eastern Michigan has no less than 4 players that have punted this year. And the primary punter is 31 Jake Julian. And this is Julian ready to receive the football back at his own 35. A short line drive kick. And it will roll dead inside the 20. Well, it wasn't much to look at, but it got plenty of yardage. The official spot, though, will be up around the 32, so the yardage is reduced. And that's where Bowling Green will have the football. 17-13 Falcons here in the second quarter. One of the Eastern Michigan Gunners inadvertently touched the football on that punt. So the spot now will be the 33 of Bowling Green, and the punt goes for only 20 yards. And here's what it looked like moments ago after the punt by Julian. And it actually runs right into the back of 42 Derek Williams, who also plays on the defense of the linebacker spot. So, play set to restart. 5:31 first half. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray, member of the National Championship Michigan Wolverines back in 1997. Little screen pass broken up at the line of scrimmage and nearly picked off. 55. Velocity in the middle of it, and La Barbara.
Yeah, La Barbara and the big fellas recognize that screen. See, when an offensive lineman let you go, as D lineman, get your hands up, stop your pass rush, and good things will happen. But right there, they really did a good job of recognizing the screen. And that was almost another turnover. He's fortunate.
Tyler's 6'2", got his hands on that one. Now Daigie's pass incomplete. That was intended for Redding. At the 45-yard line, brings us to a 3rd and 10 on the season for the Falcons. On third down, this has been a liability, just 34% accuracy, 94th in the country out of 130 teams. Teal Redding has not done much so far today. Had 4 catches for 72 against Eastern Michigan last year. Daigie with a hand clap. Now walking up to the line of scrimmage. Play clock at 8. Goes with an inside handoff. Penalty flags all over the place. Not enough on the ground gain for the first down by Clare. Now we'll see what the marker is about. And the hold likely will be declined.
Yeah, those flags came flying like before Clare even hit the ground.
Holding, number 55, offense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 4th down.
Meanwhile, in Muncie, Indiana, tonight, Gus Ragland has thrown his 3rd touchdown pass, and Miami now leads Ball State 21-0. Here's a look at the hold.
Yeah, right in the middle of the screen, you see Caleb Bright, the center, 55, getting a hold of that jersey, getting a fistful with that right hand.
Good punt by Davidson. Fair catch being called, 24-yard line by Blake Banham. You know, when you hold, you're supposed to then allow yourself to create a pretty big crease for your running back. It wasn't much of a hold there for Andrew Clare, was there?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't the block that I don't think would have sprung him free either, or the hold. But, you know, they did a fine job as linebackers, you know, read that inside play right away. You know, when you see linemen downfield, that's not pass play. You know, there's no reason to drop back and do all that. If you read your keys right through that near offensive lineman or the offensive lineman to the near back, then I think you'll be able to make a play.
So the ball back to Eastern Michigan from its own 25. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. Nice safe toss to the near side. Isaac Holder in the catch. Sophomore, Tampa, Florida. So for Isaac Stiebling, his 2nd completed pass of the night in place of the injured Brogan Roback, who went out in the first quarter. After the gain of 7, 2nd and 3, it'll run to the right side of the field. A lot of space for Shaq Van. Van still with the football, and down the sidelines he goes. They will spot him out of bounds at the 33-yard line of Bowling Green. But Shaq Van is back, and Marcus, he's healthy.
Yeah, he's healthy, and just watch this outside zone play. Watch the offensive lineman create that space. Shaq Van found the run lane, hit the afterburners.
Got 35 yards on the play. Now the running play comes to the near side of the field by Van, who's knocked out of bounds inside the 30. The asset for Eastern Michigan tonight is as Chris Creighton uses a lot of people. And so as this game goes on, should be in position in the 4th quarter to do something special, although the 4th quarter has been at times a nightmare for Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, especially the very last play of the ball game. But, you know, I mentioned earlier I thought Eastern should go back to the run game. That's where they had a lot of momentum and early success. And now you see Coach Aaron King, the offensive coordinator, doing that very thing right now.
Back to the ground as now the pass and the run are starting to be an effective set of tools for Eastern Michigan, presenting them with a 3rd and manageable after the gain of 3. With 3.5 to go in the first half. 4-7 Eastern Michigan, 2-9 Bowling Green.
Well, you want to make sure you try to get some points out of this drive. Your Eastern Michigan, it's been a while, starting quarterbacks down. Now your offense is trying to make something happen.
Ian Erickson's got the first down. They're going to drag him down inside the 20. Boy, did he hit the hole quick.
Yeah, he's a tough road to bring down. You're talking about 5'10", 210-pound, rock solid bowling ball. You see it right here off the left side, bottom of your screen. You know, you can't go in there with your head down, arm tackling. You have to put your face on the ball, wrap young Erickson up to get him down.
Marcus Erickson gets 6 on the play, 1st and 10. Now from the 18. Into the red zone goes Eastern Michigan. And Erickson tripped up as he gets close to the 15-yard line. This Bowling Green team has been allowing 250 yards per game, and that is almost at the bottom of all its college football. Eastern in the red zone tonight, 3 of 3 with a touchdown and a couple of field goals.
When you're playing against a defense that gives up 250 yards a game, I really think even if it's not working, you just keep pounding at them and make them earn it, because that's what they don't like. But if you throw the ball, they've got some athletes that can make some plays.
Faking a jet sweep, throwing the screen to the other side. Great play call. And it's 1st and goal for Eastern Michigan on the catch by the tight end Dan Bushman. This is his 5th year senior out of Brighton, Michigan, playing in his 28th career game.
I thought Danny Bushman almost getting ready to take one to the house on that throwback screen. That's a good call, too. And once you get your running game going, you can start to counter punch and deceive the defense with that. And that's what they did off that jet sweep.
And Eastern Michigan now using clock. Why give the ball back to Bowling Green with 3 timeouts remaining? Try to bleed out the first half and get a touchdown to end it. Play clock now 3. And the Eagles will use a timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout Eastern Michigan. This is their second time.
So they use almost all the play clock there, which is smart. Down to 74 seconds and still have 1 timeout in the bank. On the Capital One halftime report, we'll take a look at plays that may have an impact on your fan vote. And Marcus and I will get together and look at the MAC playoff scenarios, which may be affected considerably by the fact that Kent State is hanging around tonight with Akron trailing 10-7 second quarter. And as always, first half highlights and statistics. 6 different Eagles have a catch tonight.
That's called distribution.
Yeah.
Facilitation, if you will.
As we know, receivers are they're always open on every play. So
sharing that rock, baby.
Might as well make everybody happy.
Yeah. You got a lot of mouths to feed. You might as well feed them.
Yeah, like a big family. 1st and goal from the 6. Now it'll be 2nd and goal, close to the 2 of the carry by Erickson. Now Bowling Green's going to use a timeout.
Timeout, Bowling Green. First timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
It's not a bad move because they can use 2 more timeouts if necessary and put themselves in a situation where we get the ball back with a little under a minute to go.
Yeah. See this left side of the offensive line. Bukowski, Hickey. I mean, these guys are recreating that line of scrimmage, building a wall. And Eastern Michigan saying, hey, wait a minute, it's senior day. Let's turn this into a tough man contest. You don't want to deal with these linemen on senior day, and I got Erickson coming downhill. If you're Bowling Green, then you got to say, hey, let's do it. If I think that might be rollback right there.
Nate Locke was in on the tackle moments ago for Bowling Green. He's a kid with a perfect 4.0 GPA, psychology major, number 2 in the team in tackles. He'll be in the middle of that defense right now for Bowling Green, trying to make a goal line stand on 2nd and 3. Snap to Stiebling. Run up the middle, Erickson. He's close, but not in. 3rd and goal. And another timeout being called
Bowling Green.
by Bowling Green.
Timeout of the half.
And I like what the Falcons are doing here. They're saying, look, we're going to give up some points here, more than likely, but we're going to get the ball back.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking if you're in the mind state, you're going to give up some points, because go ahead and give up the touchdown so you can go ahead and get the ball. Because you're using your timeouts and you're going to get scored on. It's going to have to be one or the other.
Erickson now 15 carries for 55.
I would be making Eastern Michigan use that last timeout because 2 runs right there, partner, they would have had to use that timeout on 2nd down or 3rd down.
That's true.
But you called it for them. And if you do get the ball back, you only have 1 left. That's just from the old Marcus Ray back pocket armchair analyst timeout.
Which is why they pay you a lot of money here. 3rd and goal. Erickson again to the end zone. Touchdown. And Eastern Michigan regains the lead.
That was a tough run, Jim.
And for Ian Erickson, his 6th touchdown of the year. He's a tough kid.
I mean, especially when he starts 5 yards deep in the backfield, and this line just walls everyone down, and Ian Erickson just falls forward, 2 hands on the football. That's a tough tackle to make. But when you look at Bowling Green's strategy, they do have 58 seconds to work with a timeout, which is a very manageable situation.
And a quarterback that can sling it.
That's right.
Paulie Furcano's extra point is good. Eastern Michigan 20. Bowling Green 17. We promised you at the beginning entertainment tonight. Plenty of it.
Oh, plenty of it. I mean, you're talking about a game that was spin back and forth. And let's take another look at Erickson and see exactly from the rear view. See 45, Hyler Lyle giving that cross block across the formation. Tell you what, Eastern Michigan figured out one thing. If Brogan Roback isn't going to return, shorten this game, play some defense, hand the ball to 25 Erickson, mix it up with Shaq Van, who I think had the run of that drive. You see the numbers of Ian Erickson so far, 16 for 56 and a touchdown.
Pretty good feeling for Chris Creighton's backup quarterback, too. A 10-play, 75-yard drive, Marcus, that took an even 4 minutes.
Sure did.
As we know in college football, with a minute left, an eternity, as announcers often say.
It's an eternity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole heap of time, buddy.
Wilcox, like a shortstop, fielding at the 10. Straight ahead with some momentum. The little high hurdle at the 30. And now we got all kind of contact on the sidelines.
Oh, wow.
And a pretty good stick as well.
Oh, Anthony Brown. Is that who that was, 22?
Yes, it was. Yep, from Iowa City. Worth another look.
I mean, here you go. Wilcox getting ready. Looked like he was getting ready to break another one. I don't know about all that hurdling, young fella.
Yeah.
Welcome to college football out of Huber Heights.
There was a flag on the play, but the flag was away from the sidelines in the middle of the field. Time is being called. And here again, referee Ron Hudson.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 81 for Bowling Green. 15-yard first down. That's number 81's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
It's on Tristan Davis. We've had a number of unsportsmanlike calls. Can you figure out why tonight?
I think because it's the last game. And like I said, there's no love lost between these teams. Neither team's going to a bowl game, so a little bit of anger may be setting in too for some of these guys, but you still have to maintain your poise and you want to go out the right way and be smart. And that's an unnecessary penalty because that takes over 15 yards from a pretty decent return.
We'll see if it changes the strategy for Bowling Green now back at its 17. Falcons do have a timeout left. They'll put it on the ground to Clare. And Clare gets ahead for 9. 45 seconds remaining, first half. Bowling Green set to go quickly. Now 40 seconds. Snap to Daggy. In trouble. Now scrambling and throwing to the sidelines. Incomplete. Stops the clock with 27 seconds remaining. Akron leading Kent State, still 10-7 as we had shown you earlier. That's late second quarter. So now it's 3rd and 1. You would expect they'll try to pick up the first down, stop the clock, and then maybe get adventurous.
Well, one of the things we know, they don't need a bunch of time, or the way we saw Cleveland take that first run of the game for Bowling Green, 72 yards.
Daggy needs to pick up a yard. They won't get that. Intended for Andrew Clare. And so now the Falcons will kick it away. Well, not what they had imagined, in which they used those timeouts at the goal line, as this drive amounts to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I really think the penalty is what
was killer.
Yeah, it really put them at a disadvantage, if you will, just because they got a good return and then they had to give up the 15 yards.
Davidson with a bomb back to the 25. Blake Banham and dragged down. So with 11 seconds to go, Eastern Michigan football. Don't know if you'll see anything adventurous here with the backup quarterback. But Isaac Siebling back on the field, and Brogan Roback appears to be done for the night.
Well, Siebling just orchestrated one touchdown drive. I mean, the last time they were out there, they were really run heavy. But he was still able to manage the game, but now they're going to take a knee and take this one on into the half.
Second down.
And that's the end of a very interesting first half. So after 2 quarters, Eastern Michigan leading Bowling Green 20-17 in the season finale for both teams. A lot of big plays in this game. And that means that if you're part of the home team, doing push-ups with a lot of points is going to keep you pretty active. Band set to perform at halftime. We'll have the Capital One halftime report in a moment.
Welcome to the Capital One halftime report.
Back at Eastern Michigan, and welcome back to the Capital One halftime report. Jim Barber and the former Michigan great Marcus Ray. This much we know: 6 bowl-eligible teams for the MAC this year, 6 last year, and the MAC went 0-6. Marcus, might we expect a better result this year?
I think this conference is going to win at least 2 bowl games this year. It always depends on the matchup. When you look at teams like Toledo and Ohio, I think they'll be able to do just fine in the bowl game.
They'll show you the 6 eligible teams, and keep in mind that should Buffalo win on Friday against Ohio, it would become the 7th team. Now, as for the division championship, still very much up in the air in both the East and the West, and we know this much: if Akron wins tonight over Kent State, moot point for Ohio.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, win and you're in. That's what makes this conference so beautiful. But it's not over until it's over. You see Ohio, win and you're in. If not, they need some help by the Akron Zips going down.
And in the West, in the game on ESPNU Friday morning, a Toledo victory over Western Michigan clinches that division for the Rockets.
Oh, that's definitely going to be a good one. But same thing for Toledo. You have to win and you're in. But they got a guy right here, Jim. I know you like Logan a lot, don't you?
86 career touchdown passes. Arguably the best quarterback in the league.
Logan Woodside, I mean, just look at his numbers. He's a leader, played a lot of football there for the Rockets.
And for Ohio, it's got a quarterback in Nathan Rourke that can run and throw.
Well, you see it. Frank Solich loves a dual-threat quarterback. Nathan Rourke can do it all. You saw his numbers last week. Takes command of the huddle. And you see the trickeration right there, but watch him. Stay alive. That's one of those plays I seen a long time ago. Boy, Frankie brought it back.
Yeah. And thanks for watching the Capital One Halftime Report.
Welcome back to the Capital One halftime report.
And on the Capital One halftime report, very entertaining football game so far with Eastern Michigan leading Bowling Green in the season finale for both 2017. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray, who started that secondary along with Charles Woodson, the national champion Michigan Wolverines back in the day, 1997. Well, the college football playoff rankings are out. There are no surprises, but still a lot of suspense as we get closer to conference championships and the final numbers.
There's a lot of football to be played. Everybody's favorite Alabama at the top, but you got to watch those Hurricanes. I really think if Alabama and Miami win out, that would eliminate Clemson, Wisconsin, Auburn, and Georgia, and the Buckeyes could slide in there. But there's a lot of football to be played, so we're going to find out, man. It's never over till it's over.
Alabama undefeated along with Miami as the Rankings were announced a little earlier tonight, 8 Eastern, Clemson in the 3 position, and Oklahoma, well, despite an earlier struggle against Iowa State, still very much in the picture, and a lot of people feel with Baker Mayfield, one of the best college football offenses in the country.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, man, he's putting up big numbers. I mean, Oklahoma's always talented. They went down in Columbus, got that signature win, something that's tough to do, but you know what? It's really hard to really come up with the best 4 teams this early. I wish they would really wait until all the games were played and then release their final 4.
And we're getting to those conference championships in another week or so, which puts the suspense level on DEFCON 2. In this game, just separated by a field goal. We've got more football coming up and more of halftime here on the Capital One Halftime Report.
I did what you said, Doc. Changed everything.
You switched to the Capital One Quicksilver card. And how do you feel?
Like a burden's been lifted.
Those other cards made you sign up for bonus cash back. Then they changed categories on you every few months. Then you had to keep signing up. You deserve better. Now get out there and keep earning that 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
Thanks, Doc.
I'm not a doctor.
What?
Time to go. What's in your wallet?
Welcome back to the Capital One Halftime Report.
Let's take a look at this play that may have an impact on your Capital One fan vote.
I don't see anybody in the SEC that can beat Alabama.
Harris having to bounce it. He'll be able to fight through tackles and score.
Don't have to worry about the name. Don't have to worry about anything else.
Alabama physically is going to be a mismatch for just about everybody.
That's pressure. Harris straight ahead. First down and more. And Pater. Alabama just ties the game at 24.
I told them I was driving the bus, and the bus was pulling off. And they was going to either get on or get off. And they got on, and we got it done tonight.
Hurts over the middle. It's caught inside the 10-yard line. Broken tackle. Devontae Smith. Touchdown, Bama.
And don't forget to go to ESPN.com or the SportsCenter Facebook page every Tuesday to give your Capital One fan vote. 20-17 is our score. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray. Let's look back at the first half, which did not lack for excitement in the green. Brogan Roback, when he was still healthy and picked off by Gregory, which stopped that scoring drive, and then give the hands and the ball to Josh Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland took it. He was one stop shop, 72 yards, fastest man on the field.
Eastern Michigan then relying on its return team of Blake Banham, and Banham returns this one 51 yards, and Eastern Michigan in business. Then the fake touchdown pass to Sergio Bailey.
Yeah, that return really got him going. And here you see Brogan Roback going down with it. Looks like the apparent lower leg injury. We don't know if it's an ankle or whatever.
But Roback in a boot. In the meantime, it's time to find Guyton, and Daggy did. Inside the 5-yard line. Then Daggy on the fake. First rushing touchdown of the year. And away we go. Shaq Van, healthy for the first time in a while. 35-yard carry here.
Yeah, I think he really ignited that offense and led them down to the 1-yard line. And Erickson punching it in for Eastern Michigan late in the half to take the lead back.
That made it 20-17 in a game where there have been significant lead changes, and actually 3 so far. Second half when we come back.
Larry, you got to get those burgers off the grill.
Doug Flutie? Who threw the Hail Larry?
You mean a Hail Mary?
Tomato potato, man.
Those are 2 different words.
Let's go, Dr. Pepper, hip! Let's go!
And let's take a look at today's campus moment brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Some loyal and hardy fans here tonight on senior night for the Eastern Michigan Falcons, signed for Mad Max number 92, Max Crosby. And early happy Thanksgiving to all. Hopefully it's a happy and safe holiday for you. First half numbers, anything that jumps out at you there?
Well, to me, everything relatively is even until you get down to the turnovers. I mean, Bowling Green is very fortunate to be only down 3, considering that they have given up the ball twice. And they really were on their heels defensively in that first quarter to begin with, but their offense came alive. You know, nothing really jumps out other than those turnovers, but I think turnovers may be the difference in this second half on the scoreboard.
for the year. Marcus Bowling Green now has turned the football over 25 times. They're already pretty close to the bottom 10 in the country in that number. So when Mike Jinks approaches his third season, ball security, I'm sure, will be one of the major points of emphasis, as it typically is in practice. But this year, giving up the football has come a lot on the part of Bowling Green's offense and has not helped their chances in a 2-9 season. At the half, when Eastern Michigan has had 3-1, the complete victory, Bowling Green is just 1-9 when trailing at the break. But the Falcons will get the football because they won the coin toss and elected to defer. And there's a look at 92, Crosby. And there's a glance at number 6, Matthew Wilcox. Wilcox has had an outstanding return in this game and also a 61-yarder against Kent State. And as number 39, Jesse Kelly set to kick off. Ball dies, and we'll try it again.
There's old Charlie Brown. You may have Linus out there and hold it for you. But this wind now.
Somewhere Lucy's got a contract going in front of Charlie Brown saying, hey, it's a legal document. I won't trick you this time. Kelly's boot to the 5. Wilcox on the return with a head of steam up to the 26-yard line, a return of 20. And so that's where the Falcons go to work to start the third quarter.
You know, and one other thing that, I forgot to say is penalties. When I looked at the stats, I mean, a kickoff return was nullified by Wilcox for a touchdown on a penalty. So I think whoever cleans up, they're beating themselves, shooting themselves in the foot, the turnovers, the penalties, and just some of the errant passes. You got to take care of the football. Whoever plays the cleanest half, I think, is going to come out on top here.
Eastern Michigan had a clean first half as you look at Dagy's numbers. Starts this offensive series and the second half from the 26. On the draw play, it's Cleveland. Bouncing to the outside, carrying for the first down, and out of bounds around the 40-yard line for Josh Cleveland, who has that 72-yard run from scrimmage for a touchdown.
I mean, he's a jitterbug, 5'8", 175, a senior. I mean, he's got wiggle. Watch the burst. I like to call on first down, get those linebackers dropping out of there, showing a fake pass. We call it a draw play.
Timeout on the field for a player injury.
He's making people miss in space, though. Watch it, the draw play. Caught Eastern Michigan in the defensive line stunt, stiff-arming people, running past others. The man went 72 yards on one carry in the first half.
He now has 6 carries in the game for 97 as Kelly is injured on the play, number 52. That's Desmond Kelly. The sophomore, Dodge City Community College and Baltimore, Maryland. 20 seniors playing in their final game tonight for Eastern Michigan. Bowling Green has already had its senior night at home. And Kelly, still a couple of years left to go with an Eastern Michigan team that will assume, if it can close out games next year, should go back to what it performed like in 2016, which merited the Eagles a bowl trip.
Yeah, that was something Coach Creighton told us this week, is getting to a bowl game and winning the bowl game is something that they really wanted to accomplish this year.
There's Cleveland on first down up around the 45-yard line. Josh's numbers, just 5'8", 175 pounds. Great explosiveness, and by the way, in the 40, 4'3".
Oh, yeah, I mean, he has 4'3" written all over him. But I think that what you have to do to Josh is cup the football, keep it inside and in front, and don't let him get outside.
Here's Cleveland again, spinning toward the first down marker. It looks to be a tad short. And now a penalty flag at the end of the play.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 92 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That's number 92's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
That's on Max Crosby. Crosby wants to know why. Let's see if we can pick out as to why this was caused.
Crosby's going to be right there to the right of your screen. He's on the ground.
Right there with the right hand.
Came over with that right hand. And then an extra little shove. I mean, Crosby, you just got to maintain your poise, son. You're on the bottom of the pile. Referees won't call that one.
You look at Chris Creighton saying, hey, I don't care what you did. You're at fault here. Now Dagey on first down to Cleveland. Another penalty flag on the play. He is dragged down for what appears to be a loss on the play. And once again, Ron Hudson.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Number 77 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. First.
It's on John Kurtz, who's been playing out of position for part of this season. And I think you're right. When you mentioned earlier, as I asked you, why so many 15-yard penalties tonight? These are two teams finishing out the season, and all that hostility is coming out.
Freeze it. You see it right there, the hands to the face.
In the final game.
Yeah, it's just a lot of frustration and undiscipline. And then, then you start to self-reflect and you say, these are the type of penalties that cost you ball games, and that's probably why you're not going to a bowl game.
On a 1st and 25, looked like Cleveland was going to get in that second line of defense and go a long way before he was tripped up at the 44-yard line.
We talked about Eastern Michigan and their close games. It seems like they almost don't know how to function unless the game's close. It's like they won't let you get too far ahead of them, but they're not going to break away too far from you, and it's going to come down to a dramatic finish. And this game looks just about the same.
Part of their script, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cleveland's now over 100 yards. Dagey on 2nd and 18, trying to make something happen, and does just that. Quite good with his feet, and he finds Datron Guyton, who came over to help make that route a little easier. Now it's a 3rd and manageable after 1st and 25.
Coach Gagey just extend the play, get a little play action. Nobody's falling for it on 2nd and 18, but right here you just lose contain. If I'm Eastern Michigan, I really don't know if I want to do a stunt. If I want to twist my tackle and in, why would I want my big fella trying to maintain the edge and have my faster DN inside? Just get up the field.
Zone read, and this is going to go for a touchdown. Andrew Clare. Now there's a penalty flag back in the 30. Well, what else is new in this game? And for the second time tonight, a touchdown by Bowling Green is brought back.
We're going to find the culprit.
Holding. Number 55. Offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
It's on the center, Caleb Bright, who got his first start at the center spot against Kent State.
Right here to the left of your screen, you see 55 working up second level. Right there, grabs the back of the jersey. And that's your holding penalty. And Vince Calhoun, watch it from the rear angle. Vince Calhoun's coming up. Watch 55. Watch the right hand, left hand on the shirt.
We'll start on.
So 2 touchdowns tonight for the Falcons, negated by penalties.
Eastern Michigan's got to play better 3rd down defense too. They got to find a way to get to Jared Dagey.
It's not been easy tonight. Bowling Green now 7 penalties for 72 yards and 14 lost points potentially. Need to get the ball at a 27. Right now, this would be a long field goal for Jake Suter.
They're looking at a 51-yarder from here. I like the draw play call. To be honest, it's a situation where you don't want to force it. You just pop one. And, off the zone read, Bowling Green's been running the ball a lot better in the second half.
They're going to try it. At least they're lining up to try a field goal. This would be 51 yards. Be Suter's longest of the year. As long as it's 42. This to tie the game. Just missed it. Just his 3rd miss of the year. And with 11:23 to go in the 3rd, it remains Eagles 20, Falcons 17. Eastern Michigan quarterback Brogan Roback, his career is done as a result of the injury. He and Charlie Batch Waged some pretty good battles over career numbers. Roback winning out. Touchdown passes 57-53 in the record books as the all-time touchdown man by way of the air. And so his air replacement, Isaac Stiebling, goes to work here on first down, and they're running to the outside and running for a lot of territory is Stiebling. He is 6'4", 210. He's got some long legs. And how about that for a play call from Aaron King, the offensive coordinator, on first down?
No, he mixed it up. There's no way Bowling Green saw that coming, especially with all the running they did with Erickson and up the middle and Van. But watch how he sells the fake here. Everyone in the building thought Erickson had the football. There was no one to stop him from getting that huge gain.
A carry for 36 yards, Marcus, and a first down at the 30. Now the biggest question for Brogan Roback, and you saw him in the boot moments ago, is will he be healthy for the NFLPA game in Pasadena, California? UCLA is home at the Rose Bowl in January.
I thought about that too as soon as it happened, and I think there's enough time when you look at 2 months from now to probably heal up. But whatever his injury is, we don't know. But whatever that lower leg injury is going to take a little bit of time to heal.
On 2nd and 6. Zone read to the near side of the field. This play gets stretched out. Nothing available for Erickson there.
I don't know if you really want, if you're Eastern, if you want Erickson going east and west. But I tell you, that would have been another opportunity to pull that ball and let Stiebling keep it right on the same play. Just hit him with it one more time, force those defensive ends and those outside linebackers like Brandon Harris to really see if they're reading their keys and being disciplined.
Stiebling size reminds you of Riley Neal of Ball State, who's been injured, but also a good zone read quarterback, particularly in the run option. Now 3rd and 6. Little pass out to the flat end, complete. Now a decision for head coach Chris Creighton. Will he bring out Paulie Fricano to try a long field goal?
If this is 4-down territory, I think running it on 3rd down would have at least centered the ball, and then to give you a shorter field goal maybe, and then, gives you a realistic, legitimate chance of getting it if you go for it on 4th down.
That appears to be what's going to happen right now for Eastern Michigan. In the first half, neither team attempted to go for it on 4th down. This year, Eastern is 9 for 16. Need to pick up 6. Stiebling over the middle, ball caught, and it's enough for the first down and then some. So they take a risk, and they find Antoine Porter on the receiving end. And for Porter, in this game, that's his 2nd catch, and a big one.
I'll tell you what, that was a good throw by Stiebling. Let's take a look, from this angle, looking to hit our left. Good catch by Porter in traffic on 4th down. I mean, that was the kind of plays that you're going to have to make to win this game, especially if you're a senior like Porter is from San Francisco, California, 5'8", 180, sure-handed guy.
Not big, but great hands. Eastern Michigan 4 for 4 inside the red zone. Under 9 to play, 3rd quarter. Back to Erickson, big hole. Racing to the end zone, touchdown. 2nd and 9 for Ian Erickson.
He's taking a look right up the middle. I mean, this offensive line has been pushing Bowling Green around for the most part. And the thing is, I think the way they formation you, it just takes some of your defensive backs out of the box. That's why there are a lot of white shirts further away. Good run by Erickson.
Paulie Fricano for the 27th point. The Eagles, their biggest lead of the night in a 6-play, 66-yard drive that took 2.5 minutes. Ian Erickson now for the season, 7 rushing touchdowns. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray celebrates 20 years tomorrow. Michigan's win over Ohio State, 20-14. Make it national championship season, remember, under Lloyd Carr. I do remember you had your hands in the middle of a Joe Germain pass toward the end of the game to kind of seal the deal.
Yeah, it just took Joe Germain and those Buckeyes down. You know, that's what you got to do when you play those Buckeyes. You got to take them down, brother.
Matthew Wilcox inside the 10. Good return going here. He's already got one for a touchdown that was called back. And this one extends beyond the 35-yard line. Wilcox has been a weapon on kickoff returns, and Bowling Green had not been kicking itself in the back. Will probably be ahead. The Eagles' ground attack tonight led by Erickson and Van, combining for 133 yards. And Erickson's 2 scores against the Bowling Green defense that, well, frankly, next year's got to get a whole lot better in rush defense.
Exactly right. I mean, you talk about a two-headed monster. You're looking at Van, you're looking at Erickson, and you know, Erickson's got the touchdowns. He had a great run there. He's got more carries, but I think Van really was the one that ignited this offense late in that second half and got that offensive line fired up.
Now Daggy on first down. Receiver came back to catch at the 41-yard line. Nice play by Matthew Wilcox. Modest gain on first down of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I think Bowling Green has a very talented group of skilled players. I mean, you really look at some of these defensive backs and wide receivers. You saw Claire's touchdown was called back. That was a great run. But I think Coach Jinks really is building something special.
Now Daggy shooting the home run ball. Incomplete at the 20-yard line. Intended for Jarvis Pugh. First time they have targeted him tonight. It'll be 3rd down.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, Pugh really had a step on Williams, if you will. I mean, that wasn't the greatest ball thrown by Daggy, but Bowling Green's got some guys who can flat out run. I'm going to tell you right now.
3rd and 7. Eastern Michigan may have jumped off sides. Daggy realizing a free place, got Porter. First down to the 35-yard line, and this play stand is a huge gain on 3rd down of 24. Check that. That's Miller on the receiving end.
You got to watch that hard count, too. I mean,
offside, number 50. Defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
You know, getting those guys up front, that hard count. Let's take a look and see. And, you know, it was at the top of your screen, jumping off sides, but that's a free play. And most good quarterbacks know when you got a free play, free don't cost nothing.
Now the fake to Cleveland, and a pass. This looked like a little screen pass, just a little flare out to 88 Hunter Folkertsma. Who gains to the 30-yard line and a pickup close to 6. A rule at 5, but here come the Falcons down 10 halfway through the 3rd quarter.
Falcons aren't going anywhere. There's a lot of football left to be played. Their offense has been moving the ball fairly well for most part of this game. They've been shooting themselves in the foot right around this area of the field.
Daggy in trouble. Gets rid of it to Cleveland. Cleveland makes a man miss, still with a football, picks up the first down. They'll spot him inside the 25-yard line. By the way, you mentioned Mike Jinks. It'll be his 3rd year as head coach next year. You figure that's going to be a pivotal year in terms of whether his job will be in jeopardy or not.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's always year to year. I don't think anything's guaranteed, but just looking at some of the talent that he's trying to bring in, guys like Cleveland, who was already here, it takes time. I mean, you know, some guys can get in and win right away and look for other jobs and things like that, but other times, man, it takes about 3 or 4 years to really get the thing rolling.
This one headed to the end zone. Contact between receiver and defender. That's a touchdown. T.O. Redding on the reception and score. And for a change, no penalty against Bowling Green.
Oh, that was a big-time play. T.O. Redding is one of those athletes I'm talking about, but I think he used a real old-school savvy move, and it's called the push-up. It's really slight. Watch his left hand. Right there. He just created just enough separation. I played defensive back, you know, with Ty Streets, and Monty Turner used to do that all the time, and they never called it in practice or in the game.
Well, that's a good analogy then.
If it didn't call it, he didn't do it.
Extra point by Suter is good. Hats off to the Falcons. Come right down the field after trailing by 10. A 6-play, 62-yard drive. Could have some more drama for Eastern Michigan before this one ends tonight. Jared Dage's touchdown pass moments ago gives him his 11th of the year against 3 interceptions. He's thrown one tonight. Those are this evening's numbers, 17 of 28 for 180. He has also rushed for a touchdown. More importantly, his team is back within 3. At 27-24 as Fields kicks off. Blake Banham has had some pretty solid returns on kickoff so far, but he's not going anywhere this time. Cut down before he gets to the 25-yard line by Waltz. So Jack Waltz III out of Cleveland, Ohio, and St. Edward High School able to make the stop on special teams. Jim Barber with Marcus Ray. Another entertaining night of action. The Mid-American Conference, the final regular season game for both of these schools.
See, both of these teams are fired up. You know what, and I think with the emergence of all the celebrations in the NFL lately, some of these college guys, you know, they slide in a few little body gestures, a little wiggle here, a little head nod there. There's some little jawing going on out there tonight.
Now, why not? It's last game, huh? Got the rest of the year to enjoy, and maybe this is the final game for a number of these players. Antoine Porter with a catch to the near side. Marcus Milton will not let him go. Milton is wearing the jersey and jersey number of Tavares Wade, who's not playing tonight. So if you see 24 Wade with a stop, at least by jersey name, it's actually Marcus Milton.
And he's got the 14 sticker on the back of his helmet, so you know that's who he is. So, you know, they had us a little confused earlier. We figured it out, though. That is number 14 originally, but he's 24 tonight.
Pick up a 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. Logan Roback injured in the first quarter with the boot on his right leg, done for the night, done for the season. This is his final game. Going the other way, and looks like running back and quarterback weren't matched up there as well as it should have been. Intended for Shaq Van.
Yeah, Bowling Green had the right defensive call for that one. Send a little pressure, keep an eye on the backside, and don't get caught up in the jet sweep fake and all the trickeration, if you will. Sometimes you just got to play base defense, sit back, watch, read your keys, and let everything come to you. That's good defense by the Falcons.
Well, at halftime, we talked about Akron's chances for winning the East, and they're starting to pull away from Kent State. Now leading 24-7 third quarter. Win by the Zips, and Terry Pod will have the team in the championship game at Ford Field. And on the sack by Bowling Green, they're going to get the football on 4th down. That's the first sack of the game for David Konowalski. For the team, it's 16th, and Konowalski for the year is 3rd and a half.
And actually, that was good coverage downfield because Stiebling had to hold the football, and then they ran a late twist where Konowalski comes underneath, and it just parted. It just opened up perfectly the way you draw it up in meetings, and then they forced him to hold the football.
The Falcons will be able to flip the field nicely here, pending the punt. Marcus Milton back and takes a wonderful Eastern Michigan roll. In fact, it's going to die around the 38-yard line. It was a 10-7 game between Akron and Kent State, but the Zips have scored twice in the third. An Akron win. They're on to the MAC championship game against either Toledo or Northern Illinois, and Toledo can clinch with a victory against Western Michigan on ESPNU Friday morning, 11:30 start. Ohio's going to hope for the comeback of the year by Kent State. If that happens, Ohio then can win the division at Buffalo.
Yeah, that would be that's still a tall order to go out and win at Buffalo. Tyree Jackson and those guys, you know, Lance Leipold, those guys getting it going. So you got to handle your own business.
Daggy for Guyton. He's the home run throw. He's got it. And he's going to score. Touchdown, Bowling Green. And the Falcons go ahead on a 62-yard catch and run by Datron Guyton. He's the fastest player on this team, and you get to see why right here.
I told you, I mean, this Bowling Green team, they have some talent. I mean, they really have some skilled guys that I really think can be difference makers. And I'm not talking about just in the map. I'm talking about Power 5. I mean, I know what I'm looking at when I see some of these guys. And when you have a quarterback like Deji, he knew where to go with the football. He threw it to the middle and threw his receiver open.
The future looking quite promising for these youthful Falcons. In the fourth lead change of this game as Daggy donning up as the cliche goes long distance to the deep ball threat, Datron Guyton.
Yeah, well, he had all day to throw a football, and then if you're Jalen Phelps, you know, you're really not in a position to look back. You have got to keep running and try to close that gap between yourself and Guyton. Once you look back, it drifts you whatever way you're looking for. And that's what happened. He looked left and he drifted a little more to the middle. Guyton adjusted his body, made the catch, took it on to the house, but they're going to have to put a free safety back there at some point and close up the middle of the field.
Well, what do you think? Team with the ball last wins?
Well, that's what Eastern Michigan's been suffering through and dealing with all year. And that's what Coach Creighton was talking about when he told us that, you know, 6 straight games where things didn't go their way in the last play of the game they lost.
Nick Fields keeps us away from the deep man, and so the return will be beyond the 30-yard line with 4:31 to go, third quarter. Well, as if Eastern Michigan hasn't had a diet of close games this year. It all began back on September 23rd against Ohio. Continued week by week, Kentucky, Toledo, Army, Western Michigan, Northern Illinois. By the way, all these teams here are bowl eligible. So this schedule's turned out to be a tough one for Eastern Michigan. And with a 10-point lead, well, nothing is secure with the Eagles. Now they find themselves down by 4, 31-27. I think when Chris Creighton is driving around seeking solace in the offseason, doing some recruiting, he's going to have to figure a way that his team can close out games.
Yeah, he's going to have to just think about, you know, he told us, I mean, he doesn't know anything he can do right now. I mean, 6 times in a row. But you just got to finish, you know, and you might not win all of them.
Eastern Michigan, first time out of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, at one point this year, the Eagles were 2-0. And I think if you told Coach Creighton that the season was going to end like this, that you would lose 7 of your next 9 and be in trouble in your final game against Bowling Green, he probably would have been shocked.
Yeah, I don't think he would have tried to believe that. But when you look at this roster breakdown, look how young Bowling Green is, though. 55 freshmen. Eastern is, you know, they got a pretty good balance, too. 39, and move through the sophomores. Eastern, there's 27 there. Juniors and seniors, they're pretty much about the same. But both of these programs got some young talent. I think it's going to be around for a while, so it'll make this kind of game very interesting.
So Isaac Stiebling behind once again as the backup quarterback. On first down, checks down underneath, and that goes as what appears to be an incompleted pass, but we'll see. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And I also think after coming off the Power 5 win against Rutgers, you know, everybody was looking for Eastern Michigan and getting ready to go, you know, have a 8-9 win season. I mean, even with Kentucky and Army
certainly
on that schedule, and they clearly had a chance to win those games too.
2-touchdown advantage over Northern Illinois. Lost that in the fourth quarter. And then eventually was beaten in overtime. This play runs to the near side of the field. And then a cut up by Shot Van. Jack able to pick up the first down all the way to the 47-yard line. That's a pickup of 22.
And you see the difference. You know, when Shaq Van gets it, it's pretty obvious they're going to go with this outside zone play. Watch how those linemen just connect. And if you're the outside linebacker, Brandon Harris, you got to use your hands, son. Get off that block.
under 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Offensive coordinator Aaron Keene. Herb Haygood handles wide receivers. Luke Meadows, the O-line. Jay Peterson is the running backs coach. And Jay Nunez handles tight ends and special teams.
See the Eastern offensive staff up there trying to get that check with me system. Call a play and have Stiebling take a look over and make sure everything is a go.
You know, Stiebling didn't likely get very many reps during practice, but this key play that he has run tonight has netted him a couple of first downs. And this carry is to the 34 Bowling Green, so they're starting to use the legs of Isaac Stiebling, who again played his high school football, pretty good pocket of football in the Summit area in Fort Wayne. So pick up a 10.
Yeah, that quarterback keep is a little sneaky play too. It's, you know, you got Shaq Van in there, you run him once, he pops a big one, and then you fake it to him, keep it around the end with a pulling guard. I like the play call, Aaron King.
Shaq Van on first down, carrying 11 yards. You can move the chains once again, and here come the Eagles.
Shaq Van falls forward every time he runs the football, and it looks like he's getting ready to pop it and just bust through there. To get that offensive line some credit. Jake Donnellan, Nielsen, Big Hickey. Big fellas up front opening up some run lanes.
They certainly are. Van running to the right side, not cutting up the middle, and carrying for another first down. It'll be first and goal for Eastern Michigan. There's a flag, however, back at the 15. And it appears to be against the Eagles. The penalty numbers now starting to add up for Eastern Michigan.
Holding, number 67, offense, 10 yards, remains first down.
Doesn't that always happen when the announcer gives some love to somebody? In this case, the offensive line, and number 67, Jeremy Hickey, picks up a flag.
And you know what? I mean, he's right here in the center of your screen. He tackles. You just can't tackle the man. He tried to cut block him, but he didn't lead with his body and his shoulder. He actually reached out and grabbed him. And big Jeremy Hickey got that left arm in there and showed you a little love, baby. But keep blocking. It's really tough, though, to zone block guys up front. See the rushing yards right there. Eastern Michigan, 203, Bowling Green, 154 to both. Ground and pound tonight.
So now on a 1st and 14, Erickson carries back to the original line of scrimmage. And we're deep into the third quarter, under 2 minutes remaining. 31-27 Falcons. Eagles trying to get the 5th lead change in the game with a touchdown. And now we have an injured Bowling Green player. And that's number 50, Jonah Harper.
Looks like probably got a little cramp here.
Well, what did the coaches tell us earlier in the week? Because of the way the offense is now run, you got to substitute a lot more defensively, and even on the O-line as well. Because these guys having to sprint in the course of games, particularly if you're tracking down a quarterback. If you're a big fella, you can run out of gas pretty quickly.
Yeah, you can run out of gas quickly. I mean, it's tempo. Sometimes it's fast, slow. You may get a 12-play drive. You may have a 2-play drive. But a lot of times defensive coordinators now try to rotate guys in waves. You know, a platoon system, if you will. But it's a little harder to do that with the offensive line. You want to keep your best 5 in there as much as possible.
Shaq Van's 96 yards are a season best. It is second and 10 with 1:35 to go, third quarter. Three receivers set to the right, a quarterback, and backup Isaac Stiebling. And Stiebling hands off to Ian Erickson. Brings us to a third down. They're certainly within field goal range here. But a field goal, if it's converted, will leave them a point shy.
Yeah, and last time they decided to go for it on 4th down in this area of the field. And it was a gutsy call not to go for the field goal and go ahead and try to get the first down and pick that up. So don't be surprised if this is another 4-down territory situation for Coach Creighton.
Let's see what they choose to do on 3rd down if they try to get a running play to put him in position to make a 4th down. Instead, Stiebling will throw. He's got a man over the middle. Good use of Bushman, his 2nd catch of the game. Good enough for an Eastern Michigan 1st down.
If I'm in that secondary of Bowling Green, I'm saying keep an eye on Bushman on the money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's sneaking around and getting these catches.
Playing in his final game. There's another penalty flag on the play.
Substitution infraction on the defense. 12 players on the field at the snap. 5 yards from the previous spot.
So now it is a 1st and 5.
Yeah, that's what that tempo does, Jim, and that's why after they got the 1st down, they kept the same personnel grouping on and caught Bowling Green with 12 guys on the field.
8 penalties now for the Falcons, 77 yards to the end zone for the lead, incomplete. So looking for Bushman was backup quarterback Isaac Stiebling. Bring us to 2nd down.
Yeah, take a look. I told you, when he starts to get the money down in crunch time, you better find number 85. You see 2 Falcons chasing him right there on the play. Milton and those guys better locate this brother because he's going to slip out of there and make something happen on you.
Oh, yes. 2nd and 5, likely the last play of the quarter if it's a run. Stiebling to Erickson, coming back the other way. Erickson to the end zone. Touchdown! And Eastern Michigan regains the lead. 3rd touchdown of the night for Ian Erickson.
You know you're a grown man when you do what you want to do, Jim. And all Erickson said was, I'm not going to the right. I'm going to cut this ball back to the left. That's not a design cutback. He saw the defense overflowing, gave you the old school Walter Payton hesitation, and then lowered his shoulders and just said, you know what? It's either me or you. You're either at the table or you're on the menu.
This play is also going to be under review.
If that counts, that's his first career 3 TD game.
And perhaps on replay we can find out why.
You see that old school hesitation, that old Le'Veon Bell leg kick right here. Look at that. Hey! Make the cut. See if that knee goes down. Butt down. Oh, I think he's across the line. All right, it really looks like from this angle our crew's doing a phenomenal job. Let's see. He's still
close, but he's in.
He's in. You know what? He was kind of hydroplaning just a little bit where his body was horizontal. But it never looked like he was down until he was beyond the line.
Takes indisputable video evidence to reverse, and the call on the field is a touchdown, which would cap a 12-play, 69-yard drive in 4.5 minutes. It's also the last play of the quarter. Harold Dinas is the replay official. Steve Barnes, the communicator. The replay technician is Patrick Doherty.
Right there. That's the freeze frame we need. But it looks like he was over that line.
Ball's across, isn't it?
Ball's across from his body first.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
And so now Paulie Furcano out for the 34th point. And Bowling Green's defense now has allowed 30-plus points 9 times this season. Erickson tonight over 4 yards a carry, approaching 100 yards. And again, more importantly, his first career 3-touchdown game.
He's a junior, but he's playing like it's senior now. He's trying to send these guys out the right way.
Off the hold of Ivan Oraha. The extra point is good. 3 quarters in the books. Well, can it get more entertaining than this? We still have another quarter to go. After 3, 34-31 Eagles on senior night at the Factory. Line score in this game, each team with 4 touchdowns. Eastern Michigan with a score at the end of the third. Now has regained the lead 34-31 in the 5th lead change of the game. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray back at the Factory. Numbers through 3 quarters, Eastern Michigan is dominating on the ground. Bowling Green controlling things by way of the pass. First downs are even. The penalties have really added up on both sides and might make a difference before this game is over as Bowling Green has lost 2 touchdowns by way of penalties.
Yeah, penalties have definitely nullified some scoring opportunities for Bowling Green. So for them to still be only down 3 points, but some scores around the MAC. Look at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, speaking of Ball State, Gus Ragland has thrown 3 touchdowns against the 2-9 Cardinals, and Akron got a fumble return for a touchdown in the third, trying to win its division and make it to Ford Field. It's got 15 minutes to go against Kent State, leading 24-14. Eastern Michigan tonight, Van with 96 on the ground, Erickson 94 yards carrying, and 3 touchdowns. What do you think? Still time for each team to put together a couple of more scores?
You know what? I was looking at those 18 apiece first downs, and I'm thinking, well, which defense is going to step up and get that stop or get that crucial turnover?
Here's Wilcox, another solid return past the 35-yard line. Remember, he had one which he took to the house and was called back because of penalty. Matthew Wilcox is a freshman out of Huber Heights. Future's good for him on special teams and other areas.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, he knows what to do with it. He's picking up some good blocking, too. But right here is where he starts to do his thing. You know, one of those young, talented recruits from that Dayton area down in Ohio. Comes from a great program. You know, those guys win championships, and they produce a lot of Division I talent.
They certainly do. Bowling Green, 1st and 10 from the 37. This is Josh Cleveland. And Cleveland, through 3 quarters, has carried the ball 9 times for 114 and a touchdown.
Cleveland had that one run earlier and showed that he probably was the best athlete on the field, you know, that one run. But since then, for the most part, the Eagles have been able to bottle him up and not let him get loose, even though he squirted through there a few other times. But you just can't give up a home run ball and give up 72 yards on one chunk.
Jason Beck making his 6th tackle, playing in his final game for Eastern Michigan. Deggy throwing, he's got an outside receiver, ball caught, first down. That's Scott Miller, and for Miller tonight, he's been the #1 receiver for Bowling Green. His 8th catch as he approaches 100 yards.
You know, when Deggy has time to throw it, I mean, you know, they really make you defend the entire field.
Now Deggy keeping the football and swallowed up for a loss. Well, you don't want to run against that guy. 92, Max Crosby. Already has a strip sack and a return of 14 yards for a touchdown. And Crosby's the kid that when you talk to Eastern Michigan's announcers like Max Shepard, has got so much upside that eventually will find himself playing professional football.
Yeah, you see Miller's got those 8 receptions. He's putting up close to 100 yards. And, you know, these guys are really on the same page. But when I say defend the whole field, I'm really talking about middle, deep, and short.
Here's Cleveland running for a first down inside the 30. They'll actually spot him at the 30. Pickup of 19, and Josh Cleveland's big night continues.
Cleveland, man. He is getting through there on that spread look. Because really what they're doing with the formation is they're forcing Eastern Michigan to stop the run with 5.5, 6 guys in the box. And that's just not enough. But you have to honor that passing formation with your secondary.
He's playing in his final game tonight. Deggy, a look to the outside. Kind of a different type of formation. Eastern Michigan wasn't fooled. Wilcox makes the catch, and there's a loss on the play. Interesting design on that play. I'm not sure what or where Wilcox was supposed to be.
Yeah, they tried to isolate him and get him on a mismatch just in case it was man coverage. You start taking your skill guys and moving them around from the backfield motion and then across the formation. You're trying to just fool the defense pre-snap.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Andrew Clare carrying the football. And Clare fights his way to the 20-yard line. Very close to a first down. Clare out of St. Louis, Missouri. Made several trips to Iowa City. Kirk Ferentz, head coach of the Hawkeyes, was interested in him playing his college football there. Initially, they wanted Clare to be a defensive back. He said he wanted to run the football. He decided to go where his heart was, which was Bowling Green, and said, after all, no hard feelings for the Hawkeyes. This is the best fit, and he is making the most out of it as he picks up a Bowling Green first down, and now Bowling Green back in the red zone.
Yeah, he's a special talent. I mean, he's just a guy that I think would have been good in any system. Whether you're talking about Iowa and that post out or this wide open spread look where they create run lanes with the formation here in Bowling Green. I mean, they're using him exactly for what they need him to do, and it's working out.
Daggy in first down, escapes trouble. And now has to get rid of it. Ran out of options on that play as Eastern Michigan put a lot of pressure on the freshman quarterback out of Lubbock, Texas.
But Daggy was rolling to his left, getting ready to throw it back across his body, which is a cardinal sin for a quarterback. That was a wise choice. Get rid of the football, survive the down. Down here in field goal range, offense has momentum. You don't want to turn the ball over here.
On second down. Nothing available there. Brings us to a 3rd and long for Bowling Green. Falcons are within field goal range. Nagy's been responsible for 3 scores, 1 by way of ground and 2 by way of air.
That one to Redding, he was one of our impact players. And you take a look right here, you see the separation and the route running by Guyton. They've got some playmakers on the perimeter. You better get a safety back there and protect that middle of the field and force Daggy to throw it underneath.
What do you like on 3rd down?
I like the draw play here. I wouldn't force it. I like, right up the middle.
It's going to bring us to 4th and 2 and easily a manageable field goal for Jake Suter to tie the game. And that's what Mike Jinks will elect to do with 10 minutes to go. First call for Donovan Wilson tonight. He's the 5th-year senior out of Dublin, Ohio.
Oh, my neck of the woods, man. Close to my hometown.
Yes.
Columbus, Ohio, northwest of that. I would fake it right here if I was Mike Jinks.
Oh, well, that would be risky, wouldn't it?
I would take my chances with the 3 and fake it and try to go up and get a touchdown. Probably won't, but that's what I would do.
Field goal is no good. Most uncharacteristic for Suter. Just his 4th miss of the year and the first time this season less than 30 yards away.
Just wide
remains, right? Yeah. It remains 34-31 Eagles, 9.5 to go. Here's the tail of the tape with the running backs for both sides tonight. Cleveland and Clare for Bowling Green, Erickson and Shaq Vaughn for Eastern Michigan.
Look at those numbers. You see Cleveland over 100. Erickson and Shaq Van getting real close to that. Van averaging 10 yards a pop. So both of these defense, I think the challenge for the remaining 9 minutes, who can stop the run and then who's not going to give up the big play. That way you make both offenses earn.
Eastern Michigan from its own 20. Intended for Sergio Bailey, playing in his final game. If you're just joining us, Brogan Roback injured in the first quarter. A leg injury put him in a boot. He is done for tonight and for his career at Eastern Michigan. Next stop, hopefully the National Football League or maybe the CFL if that doesn't work out. 2nd and 10 for Isaac Steelwood.
That big Erickson off that right side once again, Jim. You know, you're making a point about the NFL. The quarterbacks are at a premium right now in the NFL. But let's take a look at Erickson and see what he's got going on. He's just been grinding and just a workhorse all day, just up the middle here. And then he has enough vision to bounce it out, get another score. Watch this run. Cuts back on his own. You see his eyes went back left where he knew defense would over pursue, and then he just grown manned his way into the end zone.
Let's see if they give it to Erickson on third down. He's a yard shy of 100. As the 3-touchdown night, now time being called, and Eastern Michigan will use the second of its 3 timeouts. Chris Creighton, 2 firsts. 2 rough couple of seasons to start his career at Eastern Michigan, then a dandy a year ago. And his defense certainly has shored itself up. Just some bad breaks on offense this year. This 2-year run, still the fact that they're not going to make the tournament or make bowl play this year, still gives them 11 wins over the last 2 seasons. That's the most in more than 20 years. I'm sure if you asked Chris about this year, he'd say, hey, this is a big disappointment. We talked to his defensive coordinator, who's up for a very prestigious award, the Broyles Award, Neil Nethery. Nethery says the same thing. So this is not the year Bowling Green, or rather Eastern Michigan, expected, but they certainly turned things around last year. Sideline pass, good enough, first down. On the pass from Stiebling to Bailey.
I'd say Stiebling's really gotten in, done a fine job in the absence of Roback. Running the ball 1-2, passing ball. Started off a little shaky, but then I think the play calling changed a little bit, and now they're really utilizing his skills.
Quarterback keep, no gain on the play, maybe a yard. As the lengthy quarterback at 6'4" and 210. Stretched out for a gain of 3 feet. 8 minutes to go. If you're Eastern Michigan with the lead, do you want to go quickly or do you want to back off the pace here?
You know what? I would continue to run the offense if I'm Chris Creighton. Run it, but I wouldn't really worry about the clock right now because 3 points not safe even with 30 seconds left with this Bowling Green offense.
Erickson straight ahead. Spot will be at the 39. 3rd and 5.
Because, you know, Jim, the thing about the clock when it gets about 8 minutes, if you milk it and don't get any points, and then the other team scores, now you don't have any time either. So
that's a good point.
So you just got to play it like it's a normal situation. Now, the 4-minute situation gets a little different in 2 minutes, but around that 8 minute, I think you still got a lot of football to play and be smart about it.
Eagles pick up another first down. They can blow off a couple more minutes on the clock. They release the running back. But Bowling Green did a terrific job in coverage, making sure nothing would happen on that play. That's Colby Coleman, the backup to Nate Locke. And on the pass to Blake Banham, Eastern Michigan must give up the ball.
Yeah, Stiebling didn't have anything downfield, and Coleman just went with his man Banham right to the flats. Good open field tackle, got up, celebrated. That's a huge stop on 3rd down because you give up a first down there, that's another 2-3 minutes off the clock.
Marcus Milton back to catch at the 25. Julian the punt. Good kick. Fielded at the 20, knee down. So the Falcons, with 6:21 to go, with the football down 3. For Eastern Michigan, just another day at the office. A thriller to the end. 34-31 EMU. Tonight, Supermax with 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. 11 sacks for the season. That's a single season record. He's tied for it. He wears 92, and can his defense come up to task now as the Falcons have the football at the 20, trailing by 3. Jim Barber, Marcus Ray, hang on, couldn't have another great finish. And a great run on first down for Josh Cleveland.
Josh Cleveland's doing a fine job, especially with that inside zone cutback. He's showing a lot of vision and wiggle, and he has a different kind of burst too. And so once you get past that first wave of Eagles up front, these linebackers are having a tough time really getting him on the ground.
12 carries now for 138 for Cleveland. Daggy overthrew that one at the 40. 5:52 to go. The Falcons have done a nice job of their timeouts to this point, Marcus. All 3 remain.
Yeah, and that's a sign of being in what of lining up, getting guys where they need to be, not wasting opportunities on offense and getting lined up incorrectly.
Jake Suter's 29-yard missed field goal looming large right now for Bowling Green. That would have tied the game. Daggy to the outside. By college football rule, you touch the ground with one knee, you're down. Datron Guyton on the reception. Brings us to 3rd down. We're down to 5:40. And a pickup of 6.
You see right here on the outside, you just get a clear out by the slot. Guyton comes underneath for an easy completion.
And the Falcons are going to be close. They're going to have a decision to make here on 4th and 1. At their own 40 after the carry by Cleveland. You're Mike Jinks. Final game of the season. You're down 3. What's the decision?
Oh, you go for that. Quarterback sneak, or I'm going up top on him. I mean, either way, this is the last part of this season, how you want to be remembered, something you can build on. And you've had success running the football, and it's only 36 inches.
Bowling Green 6 of 17 on 4th down. It's not going to work. Eastern Michigan led by Max Crosby and 24 Brody Hoying come up with a huge stop, and it'll be Eastern Michigan football at the 36 of Bowling Green. And now the Falcons just 6 of 18 on 4th down. That play never had a chance.
I mean, watch how much penetration, disruption you see from the green. Little inside stunt move by Max Crosby.
Look at the reaction from Daggy, too.
Daggy wanted that quarterback keep like he did on that touchdown. He knew that Eastern Michigan and Hoying, those guys really sold out on stopping Cleveland. That would have been an ideal time to give it the old okey doke and fake it, keep it around the end. That's good defense by the Eagles.
Eastern Michigan football. The Eagles aren't going to get real dramatic right now. Shaq Van carries the football for a couple.
It almost looked like he was he was overly protective with the football, right? You got 2 hands on it, and you tell Shaq Van, hey, don't fumble, protect the football. Before he really even got going, he has 2 hands on the football the entire time, and it really makes it hard to cut and use your body, and you almost fumbled anyway.
Yeah, solid point. Actually, a pickup of 1, 2nd and 9. Clock though moving. Be under 4 minutes after this ball is snapped and the play is complete. Van trying to stay into the line of play. Bowling Green's going to use one of its 3 timeouts here. And we will take a break. Under 4 left. How's this going to finish? Or might we be headed for overtime? Akron with the football and hanging out to a 10-point lead. 4 minutes to go, 4th quarter. If the Zips hang on, they'll win. The MAC East get to Ford Field to face either Toledo or Northern Illinois. Toledo faces Western Michigan Friday morning on ESPNU, and a victory by Toledo, and the Rockets will make it to Ford Field as well as champions of the West.
It's going to be a good game, I think, regardless of who goes. But, right now, these Eagles, what are they going to do 3rd down and short?
Need to pick up just a few yards to continue to drive. Stiebling on a zone read. And Van to the near side of the field. He's close to the 1st down marker. And he's got it. So they restart the clock, and Eastern Michigan can kill off a couple of more minutes, depending on how Bowling Green will use its timeouts. Now you want to really shorten the game and use that play clock to all your advantage.
You got to force Bowling Green's hand here and say, hey, of course you're not going to use it right now, but after this play, I think they'll probably call 2 timeouts and try to get them on 3rd down.
Shaq Van. Both Van and Erickson over 100 yards tonight. Falcons will burn their 2nd timeout, which leaves them 1. Mike Jinks says there's no shortcuts in this program.
Yeah. You know what? And he's right. You know, and when you're a first-year, second-year coach, you can either get guys to buy in and show some promise, or you can get some guys that come in and say, hey, we don't want to hear what you're talking about, coach. And a lot of times that doesn't happen that way, but it can. But I think these guys that are seniors on this team, guys like Cleveland, he's a leader. He's showing guys like Andrew Clare, hey, man, you want to spend your career with Mike Jinks. He sent me out the right way. Believe in his system. Keep fighting, because Bowling Green's right there. I mean, they're talented. They're knocking at the door. They got to clean some things up in the rush defense. And he told us that this week on the phone, too.
Van is stopped. The Falcons will use their last timeout. No gain on the play. Well, that's a solid point by Mike Jinks, because as he gets into his 3rd year, there's going to be pressure. I mean, this is a program that's won a lot of games over the years. But when Jinks came in, he said, look, here's what I'm taking over. Here's how I'm going to do it right with the APR. We had students that are going to accomplish some things. They're going to be here a while, and it's going to take a while for us to do something special, but it will happen.
And they did lose some pretty good talent off their last conference championship team. I mean,
they did.
You know, a lot of these schools in the MAC, they go through heavy attrition. I mean, you know, you get two, 3 classes that graduate, then you have to replenish it. And you know what? I call that shoveling the driveway while it's still snowing. You've got to win and rebuild your roster at the same time.
Yeah, good luck on that, huh? 3rd and 9. Let's see what coordinator Aaron Keene has called for. Snap to Stabling. He'll keep the football to the 20 and out of bounds. He is right at the stick.
Well, they set that play up two plays ago when they gave it to Shaq Van. You see right here, you get the lead block, quarterback keep. It's a great call. I mean, it was there 2 plays ago, and that's why Aaron Keene knows what he's doing.
And they are going to measure here, Marcus, to see if, in fact, Stabling got the 1st down. And with Bowling Green out of timeouts, that could come very close to sealing the game for Eastern Michigan if it's a 1st down.
Yeah, 3 minutes, though. They probably still would have to run a couple of plays. They got a 1st down here. Now Bowling Green's out of timeouts. At 3 minutes is way too early to get in a victory formation. So
can't do that yet.
Nope. Still legitimately got to run a couple of plays. And Bowling Green got to still play defense. You don't want to give up a touchdown. You don't want to fall asleep. You don't want to give up. You know, if you're Bowling Green, you get after it, play those 0 coverage, blitz 6 guys, play man with the other 5, and it's feast or famine. You try to strip the ball out, try to find a way to win.
Play clock at 10. Shaq Van. And they're pushing him forward. Spot will be at the 10-yard line. That's a pickup of 8. Shaq Van still has a year to go. The 20 seniors for Eastern Michigan about to go out the best way they can.
You know, one of the things when your career is coming to an end or you're in your last game, you want to go out a winner. You know, I was in the Citrus Bowl against Arkansas. We were in a shootout and we won that game. But for a lot of us, there are a lot of thoughts going through our head. How am I going to be remembered? Was I a great leader as a senior? Am I going to get a shot at the next level? And if not, where am I going to go find a job?
Yeah, good point.
A lot of things start going through your mind.
Man is a yard short, but the clock continues to move. 90 seconds left. Another first down ends the game. It's a quarterback sneak. And that should do it. So on senior night, Eastern Michigan gets its first win at home over Bowling Green since 1989.
Oh, wow. That's a program win. That's a big-time accomplishment.
Now it's time for the victory formation. For an Eastern Michigan team that has found unusual ways to lose football games, this will be a solid way to end it.
Unfinished business, I think, will be their motto in 2018. Something close to that. They'll finish up 5-7, one game away from a bowl game, which was the goal. And you had 6 games in a row that really could have went either way. They left a lot of meat on the bone this season, but Chris Creighton's the right man for the job. Did a fine job with these young men.
And that'll do it. Eastern Michigan 34, Bowling Green 31. By the way, congratulations to Akron that just defeated Kent State to win the MAC East. And here the coaches get together. Chris Creighton, Mike Jinks. On to their off seasons now to prepare for 2018. And Brogan Roback, best of health to him, and hopefully he'll be ready for the NFLPA game at the Rose Bowl in January to audition for the next level. Marcus, any closing thoughts?
Tell you what, the factory was rocking tonight. I think we saw a great football game back and forth, a lot of missed opportunities, saw some big plays, penalties, all types of things. Guys making individual big-time spectacular plays, so it was matching at its finest.
Combined total yards tonight, 856 and 65 points scored. For Marcus Ray, Jim Barber, so long tonight from the factory in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Final score, Eagles 34 and Falcons 31. All games airing the ESPN network are streaming live on the ESPN app, or to watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long from Eastern Michigan.